Oh my God, what the hell is this? He's gonna try it!
And will this be enough? Tonga takeover!
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I am Josh Maver, alongside my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How are we doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. We didn't have much to talk about outside of the but she's so much to talk about this week.
Right. I mean, last week was kind of like
There's
the
a
slow
lot of
news, and then it's just all the floodgates opened. Of just a kind of, it was like a lot of tease last week, and this week we're starting to see some cement being poured of the foundation of the craziness that we could see in the coming months. And the first crack in the dam happened last week when Ricochet, reports are that Ricochet gave his notice to WWE that he is not going to re-sign with them. Now, the whole, is it a work, is it a not work, we don't know. The way he was kind of written off, we'll go over at with Raw. We can kind of go into it now because the world is talking about Ricochet. Congratulations, you finally got over, and it's about a contract negotiation.
Seriously. Yeah, no, though it's like that's what one of the big things everyone's talking about is the word through the grapevine is Ricochet's contract is up sometime next month in July. Nobody know, they don't know exact date. All they know is that apparently it expires in July, and that he's decided not to re-sign, and that he's going to explore taking his talent somewhere else. Now, of course, obviously, people are thinking most likely landing places would be either AEW or TNA.
Maybe JPW, maybe New Japan. That has been floated out there, but I think that's a third tier decision.
Yep. Yeah. And it's like what happened on Raw definitely seems to indicate that he may not be back on TV, but it's like, who knows? Like they may bring him back one more time before he's done with this whole storyline going on with Braun Breaker. So we'll see. But so the speculation is running wild of what's he going to do, and like, how would he do if he goes to AEW, or would it be better to go to TNA? Because yes, he could go to AEW and have banger matches with a lot of people, especially his buddy Will Ospreay, who would love to have him show up. He's made that clear. He even put out a video. Did you see that on Twitter?
Yeah. Will walked up where it says Ricochet on there, and he was just like, "Come on," or something. I forget. I couldn't understand what he was saying, and there's nothing against Will. I just could not. The audio was just off. I could not understand what he was saying. But basically, it was a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Come on, bruv.
Yeah, subtle, not subtle.
Yeah.
But where would he go in the hierarchy? I mean, like, it's like I don't see the way that the main event scene is set up right now at AEW, especially with some people still gone. Like Adam Cole is not back, and MJF just came back. So I just don't. I mean, yeah, he could go there and have banger matches, but would he go anywhere? Like, would he be able to even be in the main event scene? I don't know. I mean, he would easily fit into the mid card, TNT title, international title, continental title, you name it. But would that benefit him in the long run? Whereas like TNA would probably, the way TNA is right now, he'd have more of an opportunity to go higher up the card, I think, in TNA than AEW, to be honest. And again, having better matches with a bunch of people there. So it's going to be very to see what's going to happen. It's like, I just hope he makes what he feels is the best decision for him and is happy. Now, obviously, people are kind of surprised he's leaving because, he's engaged to Samantha Irving, ring announcer, who is amazing at her job. And, but hey, some couples have been kept apart by working in different companies. I mean, Andrade and Charlotte went through that, and it's like they didn't have any issues. And now he's come back to WWE. So so that's not like the thing that would hold him back, from leaving. So it's gonna be very to see what's gonna happen.
It's either two things of he realized he can't make either there's two things is either he's going to make for some reason Tony has told him that he's giving me a truckload of money, or two, because there's only two reasons why, because he's not going to go to New Japan.
He can't talk to Tony, and Tony's said I can't comment about it's to him because he's still under contract. So it's
everyone knows. Everyone knows.
But you can there's ways to get around that.
Right.
Through intermediaries, you can pass things along. It's so yeah, it's he could offer him a ton of money.
He's either going to go to AEW for the money, or he's going to go to TNA because he feels like he's plateaued at WWE. He doesn't see anywhere else for him what else he could do. So he wants just a fresh start, and he's going to stay within TNA. And I think he's going to stay within the States, because if he goes to New Japan, yes, he still will be awesome and he can be great there. That's a rough travel, especially with him and Samantha. They're engaged.
They both live in Vegas too.
So. Right. So I just think it's either a TNA or AEW, most likely AEW, for the money and obviously being able to have another banger match with Will Ospreay and stuff like that, because we know Will and Ricochet will put on another $8 million star match.
Yeah.
Will, I think Will is the best technical wrestler going right now. Every match I'm just when I thought that he couldn't surprise me, he does something else. I'm just like, Jesus, what the heck? On that. But I just, Ricochet, as good as he is in the ring, and that kind of goes with the Shawn Michaels thing. Is he a main eventer though? He could put on main event matches, but is he a main eventer?
That's the thing. It's does he see himself as main event material? If he's happy for being in the mid card, then hey, more power to you. If you don't feel like because there's some guys who made it clear they don't see themselves as world championship material. They're perfectly fine to either work in tag team or be in the mid card. It's that. That's where they feel comfortable. It's not everyone. It's there's some people who don't feel like they're ready for the main event spotlight. And sometimes it's true.
I just feel like Ricochet has carried himself, and the way he's always presented is a main event talent. He's just always been just stuck for some reason.
Well,
his mic skills are iffy, but that's been the big discussion this past week too. Is people have been talking about his mic skills, and then someone would say something, and Ricochet would comment and be like, "You haven't watched me. Watch what I'm going to do next." Basically saying that they didn't give him enough opportunity to show. I'm like, I've heard you talk, man. It's kind of there's nothing. Yeah, it's very bland.
And this is kind of because this surprised people, because now Triple H is in charge. You think he'd want to stay, but being under the Vince regime for most of his main roster career, it's he didn't get to go and do as much as he could have done if Triple H had been running things. Now Triple H is running things. He still isn't going anywhere. So it's yes, you can blame Vince, and Vince is rightly to blame for how he was booked for quite a while on the main roster. But Triple H to them right now, they've had, the last year to figure out, maybe to do something more with him, and they haven't. So,
they put him with Logan Paul, and that was basically because, hey, this guy would work good with Logan Paul, right? Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, Ricochet is that level of a guy. It's this guy will work well with.
When he was tag teaming with Braun Strowman, it seemed
I really like that mix, and then Strowman got hurt.
And unfortunately, Strowman got hurt, and it's then he went back into Nowheresville.
Right, and then and then he's just been kind of doing great matches. When you're the first ever Speed champion, that's telling you that they'd rather you do that than have a long-term storyline. And honestly, the sad part is once he gave his notice, this last segment on Raw was the best they've ever presented Ricochet, and he got the crap beat out of him. But that's the best we've ever storyline to how he was presented, and everything was the best we've ever
since NXT, probably
since NXT, when him and Velveteen Dream had that really good feud.
Oh God. The bangers he had with Adam Cole over the NXT North American title.
Oh, when he did the flip and the super kick, when he undercut him and stuff like that. Yeah. like that black and gold brand. I mean, when Ricochet, when Velveteen Dream was talking crap, and he literally just ran and flipped over the top rope, landed, and just stared him down. I'm like, Jesus, this guy's a star. And then he goes to the main roster, and Vince is like, my guy, and then does all that. But now Triple H took over, and he's like, he's did the same thing with Andrade. Andrade comes back, goes, okay, we're finally getting it, and then nothing, and it's just like.
Right. I mean, as much as Triple H would obviously is like loves Ricochet, it's obviously they don't see him as main event level, or else they would have put him into that spot by now. They would come up with something, but
they never push him as the NXT champion.
Now, especially on Raw, is still kind of stacked. Even though, despite the fact that two of the biggest names, Seth and CM Punk, are still out injured, there's not much trajectory, like it's unfortunate. So I understand why he's leaving. It is unfortunate though.
It's kind of same thing with Jeremy saying, like, thanks for joining us, Jeremy. I mean, I feel like the same thing is he feel like he's plateaued and he wants to be main event, and I guess Tony or Tony's people, because he can't technically talk to him, said like, we'll give you all the monies because whatever, and because his dad just made Trevor Lawrence the highest paid quarterback. So might as well just give Ricochet money because whatever.
The cons have money to burn for like a lifetime.
Right. So he was like, all right, we'll probably, and then plus I think it's also the fact that he gets to work with Will Ospreay, and because Will is that main event type of guy, or at least the matches that he puts on, and I like the way he cuts promos. But you can only have so many Ricochet Will Ospreay matches to where I still don't.
Then eventually the luster will fall off. It's like, it's like you keep doing it. It's like, oh, this is like, Ricochet versus Ospreay part 12. It's like, and then at that point, it's like, it's not as special.
And then Ricochet and Will Ospreay are tag team champions. And the next thing you know, Ricochet's trying to go for the TNT championship all over again.
The other problem is Tony's inconsistent booking with the show right now. It's like, can't 100% trust him to treat Ricochet right. It's like to be honest. So that's why I think, honestly, I think TNA would probably be the better bet for him at this point versus AEW. To be honest,
I mean the most solid as far as week to week storyline telling company is the one he's saying I can't be here. Yeah, because a couple of times I watched TNA, I'm like they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's been up and down ever since Scott D'Amore got ousted.
Yes. It's definitely all over the place. And Tony is it's not as bad as, remember I shared that video that shout out to Wrestle Talk where they did in like 2019 with the Underground and like where they introduced.
Oh yeah, there's no question he'd have banger matches with a bunch of people. Yeah. It's just like, would he get the right kind of push and treatment? And then like he'd come in and do all this stuff, and then Tony's like, and then he's done with them, and then he goes into purgatory like so many other people have ended up in purgatory on AEW TV. Look at Wardlow right now. It's like perfect example, and we're going to talk about him because he's popped up in the news this week. And apparently Jeremy, Scott D'Amore, according to Fightful, it has a non-compete that doesn't expire until like February of next year, which is insane.
February of 2025, and it's like
that explains why nobody snatched him up to come work for him.
Yeah,
I guess.
But yeah, no, I'm with you, Jeremy. Like TNA could offer. I don't think TNA has the money.
Oh yeah, no, they could not offer the kind of money that Tony can offer.
If they had the money, they wouldn't be doing partnerships.
They can offer decent money, but not like 6-7 figure money.
Right.
No, it's like. I don't think Samantha's going anywhere. She's so beloved right now and has gotten so much attention and love from people. And besides, Ricochet wouldn't want to do that to her. She loves what she does there. It's like I said, other people who are married couples have worked for different companies, and yes, they like to stay together in the same place, but that doesn't prevent him from working elsewhere. It's not going to hold him back.
Me and Keith Lee,
look at me and Keith Lee me and Keith Lee are perfectly happy, and it's like she went back to WWE, and he's still under AEW contract, unfortunately still out injured, Poor guy.
Yeah, he can't ever get healthy, unfortunately. But I mean, but then even when she left WWE, she signed back with TNA. She didn't even go to AEW.
She didn't go to AEW to be with him. Probably because they weren't maybe interested in her, most likely. If they had, she probably would have gone. So she went back to TNA for a while, and then Triple H, finally Vince went away, and Triple H was charged, and she didn't hesitate to come back.
Yeah, I think he's leaving. Okay, I was surprised that it was July that his contract was up. We just knew that he gave his a heads up that, hey, I'm leaving. But I mean, the way they kind of wrote him off with the angle, Bully Ray, I was listening to how he kind of described it. I'm like, okay, you put a little nugget in my head that they could, like you were saying, because he has at least some time, they could possibly bring him back for one last. I don't think there's enough there. But
I mean, I could easily see that it's like he comes back when Braun least expects it, challenges him to one more match, and it's like loser leaves town match. It's whoever loses is gone from WWE, and of course then he'll lose, and then he's gone.
Right. So
he'll put his career on the line.
Yeah, something like that. It wouldn't be a loser leaves town. Braun literally just got there. Yeah. But maybe with him and the GM, I forget his name. But Adam Pearce, and with him and like Adam Pearce going back and forth, maybe Adam Pearce is just like, I'm tired of it. If Ricochet beats you, then you're out of my hair or something like. I doubt it. That's just way.
Yeah, it's just that's a possibility.
Right. I like I said, I highly doubt. I don't think we see Ricochet back in WWE.
No, it expires after Forbidden Door, so it's mid to late July from what they're implying. They just don't know the exact date.
Yeah. Speaking about well, you were talking about Wardlow earlier. Wardlow came out and trademarked his name. Now, this typically
he filed to trademark his name.
Right,
so
filed to have his trademark his name. Typically, that means when you hear that being filed, and so did Garza, and they did file for that too.
That's precaution in case they're going to be leaving where they currently are, so they continue to use that name. Like Becky Lynch is currently a free agent. If she went somewhere else, she could not be Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is copyrighted by WWE, so she'd have to go change a new name or go by her real name, Rebecca Quinn.
Right.
Or she could do Becky Quinn. It's she could get away with that. But like Ricochet owns the trademark to his name, so he can take that with him. So he can still call himself Ricochet no matter where he goes.
R.I.P. Prince Puma.
Yeah. So so that's field speculation, but also by the fact that he's barely been on TV for the last few months, that he's definitely thinking about shopping his services elsewhere when his contract is up.
I mean, Tony fumbled it.
I know. Tony completely fumbled him. WWE was stupid not to grab him.
Right. I mean, if Vince McMahon was there, he'd be all over it. Big meaty men slapping meat. That's what he loves. So. I
mean, look what they're doing with Obafemi right now.
Oh,
it's like Wardlow's like Obafemi, but he's even more agile.
I thought that was.
He's got more experience.
We'll talk about Battleground, but damn, Oba, I didn't know you had that in you.
Yeah.
He was.
So,
really good.
Like Ricky Starks, I think it's only a matter of time before he ends up in WWE.
Yeah, for sure. And the other trademark that was filed, Hikuleo, the younger brother, right? Or is it their cousin?
It's the younger brother of Tama.
Of Tama and Tonga, Loa, who are now with the Bloodline, the new Bloodline. Bloodline 2.0, don't call it New Blood because we're not going to go back there with the WCW. But they filed to trademark for Talla Tonga. I can't even say it without laughing. I can't. Talla Tonga. That's and guys, just so you know, of the three brothers, he's the taller of the Tongas. Wow, they really, really thought hard about that one. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to be named Talla Tonga because the internet is blowing
that's like having, going from Bubba Ray, Devon, Spike Dudley to Big Dick Dudley.
Big Dick Dudley and Sign Dudley.
Sign Dudley.
Sign Dudley or Sign Guy Dudley or something like that. I literally posted on our Discord. I'm like, this is the Dudley Family Naming Institute of just what's he do? Start Dudley.
Really, honestly.
It was all right, tell me what the difference is between you and you two and your brother. He's taller. All right, I got it. Talla Tonga.
Yeah, Tama Tonga gets to keep his name. I mean, I understand why they
Tonga kept his name, even though
brother's name. but this doesn't make any sense. Jeez.
It just I don't get it. Plus, like I said, and we'll get into our SmackDown review. Tonga Loa's got a long way to go as far as his in-ring stuff.
Other people were saying that he's not as like good as he used to be, and it's definitely showing. So it makes sense why he's probably going to be doing tag team stuff with his brother.
Yeah, you can tell they're protecting him, because there's a couple times I'm like, that was just bad. Anyway. We'll get into that. But then
makes sense why they're bringing in him now. So I think this and the word that he's coming, this guarantees that Jacob Fatu is going to be on Roman's side.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. Like, okay, now that
because Roman's going to get Jimmy and Jay back on his side, and then they're going to need a fourth with Hikuleo coming in and joining Solo's side. So that's where Jacob Fatu comes in, and that can be like it's like that would be like Roman's ace in the hole is Jacob Fatu, and like they won't see it coming. Look, you know, and the fans will lose their shit.
Yeah, I mean, but I would like for Jacob to be on, the new bloodline, but I understand why they're kind of keeping him, because they're trying with Solo, and Solo every little week, every week more, it's getting there. And like I said, that's why they keep having Paul Heyman with him, because Paul Heyman is sculpting Solo into the guy that and they're not. Here's the difference: they're not forcing Solo in a sense, like they did with Roman when he became the babyface and this is your guy, whatever.
It's a slow build. He's becoming more assertive.
Yes,
he's more controlling of. Like, no, you need to take care of this now, else.
It's very slowly building to where it's getting over, rather than just like him because we told you to. Yeah, but we'll get into that. A couple other things. And then I'll let you do with this. So as far as about the Forbidden Doors, Triple H is just battering them down left and right.
Yeah.
Io Sky came out, and I don't know the wrestler, but in Marigold promotion, it's the same one that Julia still kind of did some stuff with.
Yes.
She hurt her wrist.
Yeah, it's Rossy Ogawa. He used to run Stardom. It's his new Joshi promotion that he started after leaving Stardom. Io Sky is going to compete against Utami Hayashishita. And apparently Utami is like a massive fan of Io, so it's like a dream match for her. So she's like nice. Like on cloud nine, apparently.
Yeah.
So like on their show, on the most recent Marigold show, a video recording from Io that was done at Raw this past week aired, saying that she was coming to challenge her. Let's see. Is it in the July show? I think that's the same one that Julia is scheduled to wrestle at.
I thought with her wrist she couldn't. She's not doing anything.
Yeah, July 13th. It's the July 13th Marigold show. That's also the one that Julia is still expected to wrestle at, despite hurting her wrist recently.
Gotcha.
So that was the first thing, and then another Japanese promotion, Pro Wrestling Noah, who WWE has worked with before. They're the promotion that Great Muta did his farewell match, his final singles match, and they made arrangements. They worked with WWE, and that's when WWE allowed Shinsuke to go over there to have face Great Muta in his retirement match. And so they've worked before, and they announced on their Twitter that they and WWE are going to make an important announcement during their show this weekend, which is airs on Sunday, and along with a video from a special wrestler as well. So they're teasing another. So it sounds like someone from WWE is going to be showing up in Noah again, from what they're implying. So the cross promotion work continues, and there's the TNA stuff is not over, as we found out. And it's like we'll go into more detail, because what Cody revealed on NXT this week, they hinted that Jordan Grace is not the end of the TNA crossover work that they're doing. It has only just begun, apparently. So WWE is they're working with TNA. They're working with other Japanese promotions. It's like Triple H is just like Forbidden Door. I'm kicking that shit down.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus because I think it's just a smart thing because
Yeah.
they're having that Japanese tour coming up. So
Yes.
if they can go there and then while they're on the tour, have the other wrestlers show up in the other promotions with that,
Exactly.
it more spreads it more gets more influence through not only just, hey, we're here, come watch us, to where, hey, we'll also give our talent to other
Those shows are going to draw. They have not been in Japan in 5 years.
Yes.
But that was before the pandemic.
Right.
So they have not been in Japan in quite a while. So
Right.
that's going to be huge. Those shows are going to probably sell out real fast if they haven't already.
Those going to sell out, and then that they're going to do other things with NOAH and with the other promotions.
They're building that, and plus it's like
with Marigold,
and they got that relationship with Marigold going because Julia is going to be coming to NXT once she's wrapped up some of the stuff. Because she's basically there to help get the promotion off the ground because of who she is. She's such a big name. And so after she wrestles, I think that July show, she's expected to show up at NXT sometime after that. So but who knows? She might show up at Heatwave for money after Money in the Bank. It just depends on what we'll see happening. Because I definitely see they're going to. We'll go over more of that due to what Roxanne is saying lately. Definitely hints that that Julia is coming.
I mean, line them up. She's going to knock them down. Okay,
yeah.
So just bring her on. I don't care.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I know you.
Kind of go a couple comments.
But this is cool. This is really cool that that WWE is doing this stuff, allowing their wrestlers to work, especially for the Japanese contingent. It's like good to go back home and because that's a big deal. It's like for them. It's like so we can see Kairi Sane and others show up there as well. Fortunately, Asuka is currently out injured, so he's not.
And it builds good, and it builds because I'm speaking on that, and then we'll go do a couple comments, and we'll go to the first breakdown. So speaking about that kind of reminds me. So your boy Drew McIntyre, obviously he's already over in Scotland. Yeah. But they did have a ceremony. He got inducted to the Wrestling Hall of Fame in Scotland, whatever they have set up there. And according to him, he's the first wrestler that didn't pass away or is still actively working that was inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's what he said in his comment. I'm like, because I didn't even know that it existed. Obviously, it's just kind of us being Americans and not paying attention to that other side of the map when it comes to that. But he was standing there. He was also standing there with Piper Niven, and it was just a cool thing. And so you can tell that WWE not only it looks at it as a business thing of like, yes, we need to go out there, we need to sell tickets. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. But also, it's a good locker room thing of, hey, you've earned this spot.
Yeah.
And we also will, put you let's go over there and give gratitude. Let you go and just get your flowers from your hometowns that you've earned the right to go back there and get your flowers from. Kind of the same thing with the Japanese wrestlers as well, which kind of still stinks that Asuka is injured because, the crowd would be going crazy when Asuka would come out, especially if she showed up in Marigold and helped Io Sky win or something like that.
Oh God, that would be, they lose. Yeah. The Japanese fans would lose their mind.
Yeah. So, but yes, what Drew, and that's kind of remind me of that Drew did that they inducted Drew and he was there and Piper was standing right next to him. And I'll be fire. Obviously I don't like the way they kind of got into the match, but here or there that they're in it. So they're always gonna do that.
Yeah, they're definitely given like when they go to the home country of a specific star, they try to make sure that they're on the card in some fashion.
Right.
I mean, look what happened with when they went to Elimination Chamber in Australia. I mean, of course, Rhea got the main event slot. Being from Australia and how over she is, that made sense. But Grayson Waller got to do his talk show. He's from Australia. Indy Hartwell, who's also from Australia, her and Candice got to wrestle on the pre-show at least. Crowd gave her big props. You could tell it meant a lot to her. The only one who missed out, unfortunately, of course, was Bronson Reed because just circumstances.
Right. All right, and then Jeremy here, Wardlow versus Braun or Braun and over.
That's meat.
That's a lot of meat. Oh no! To do a fatal 4-way, Wardlow versus Braun versus Bronson Reed.
Yeah,
all the Brauns versus Wardlow. all the
and then throw an Ivar for good measure, and then the
right.
collapse.
And then I'm glad he's doing because most of my Japanese.
Yeah, me too. It's like I know a little of New Japan, but this is a good thing. It's like, I mean, it's like, they're establishing connections with other promotions and letting this crossover stuff happen, and it's awesome. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, because as far as I know, there's New Japan, there's Stardom, there's All Japan, and then Marigold just started in NOAH. I don't know I know All Japan ones, from some other stuff.
There's some other ones, but those are the most the most well-known ones. Like New Japan is like one of the oldest and most well-known, but All Japan has been around for quite a while as well.
Yeah. All right, well that's it for.
All Japan is the one who had Charlie Dempsey. They had Charlie Dempsey over to do a match for.
Yeah, and that was back in they had that was when freaking Rene Dupree was over in All Japan at one point. They had the Voodoo Murderers or something. Mm-hmm. I remember that just back in that day because that was Viscera was part of that faction. Him and Rene Dupree was part of that faction. They're called the Voodoo Murderers. They would come out with actual swords and stuff. I'm like, what are we doing here? So I just remember that's the only reason I know about All Japan. I've never watched a single match from that promotion. But all right, well, let's get into NXT Battleground, which
let's do
delivered.
All right, here's a recap of what happened at this Sunday's NXT Battleground PLE event for the NXT brand. Live from Las Vegas at the UFC Apex Center. The opening match was the ladder match to crown the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion. Fallon Henley, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Lash Legend, Michin Mia Yim, and Sol Rucka were the participants. Lots of back and forth action. Not too many crazy spots, but definitely some painful looking spots. The big one when everybody teamed up against Lash Legend, dumped her over the top rope with a press slam and dropped her right on top of a ladder bridge. Yikes. So Rucka went on a tear, headed out Soul Snatchers. But in the end, Kalani Jordan took out Mia Yim and then was able to climb up unmolested to grab the belt. And Kalani Jordan is the first NXT Women's North American Champion. Then we had the NXT Tag Team titles on the line as Axiom and Nathan Frazier defended against the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Back and forth action, some really good spots. In the end, the champs were able to attain after Axiom hit Carl Anderson with Spanish Fly, and Nathan Frazier followed up with a Phoenix Splash off the top rope for the pin for them to retain. Then we had the NXT Underground match. Lola Vice taking on Shayleen Baszler. Basically, MMA rules. Only way to win was by knockout, submission, or TKO. Ladies really beat the heck out of each other. Lola Vice focusing on Shayna Baszler's leg. In the end, after throwing Shayna headfirst into the steel steps, Lola Vice followed up with her patented windmill punch and just started to wayland Shayna Baszler. And the referee put a stop to the match right then and there, awarding Lola Vice the victory. Then we had the NXT North American Championship match, triple threat, as Obafemi defended against Joe Coffey and Wes Lee. Really good match, lots of good spots. Of course, the Gallus boys got involved, tried to help Joe Coffey win the match. But in the end, Obafemi was able to overcome all the odds. And after hitting a pair of power bombs of both Joe Coffey and Wes Lee, Obafemi pinned Joe Coffey to retain the championship. Then we had probably the match of the show and of the evening, the NXT Women's Championship, as Roxanne Perez defended against TNA's knockout champion Jordynne Grace. Fantastic match between these two ladies. Things got a little chaotic in the end when Tatum Paxton, of all people, appeared and tried to steal the TNA Knockouts Championship belt, who was then accosted by Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke. And Jordan went and laid them both out to get the title back. But when she got back to the ring, Roxanne was taking advantage and one cutter, and then Pop Rocks later. Roxanne pinned Jordan Grace and is still NXT Women's Champion. Then we had our main event, the NXT Championship on the line as Trick Williams defended against All Ego Ethan Page, making his NXT and WWE in-ring debut. Good match between these two guys. Spilled all over the floor, back in and outside the ring. At one point, he hit the Eagle's Edge for like a 2.9. He started arguing with the ref about the count, which was his mistake as he turned around and Trick nailed him with the trick shot knee to pin him and remain NXT champion. Trick Williams celebrated with Sexy Red while Ethan Page sat in the corner really pissed off, close out the show. So that's all that happened on this weekend's NXT Battleground.
Good job, Sean. Good job, Sean. You did it. You did it. I mean, not just because, the best to ever do it retained, and I only had the match of the night, but it was just a really good show all around. Yeah.
As I said last week, my friend James and I went over to his place and we watched the show together. He had a good time. He enjoyed the show. He's familiar with some stuff, but I caught him up on some stuff because he doesn't watch NXT regularly right now. But he really enjoyed the match. He also liked it's like he was rooting for Mia Yim. He loves Mia Yim to win the title, but he goes like Kalani Jordan's really cool, so it's like I'm okay with that. And he was really impressed by Obafemi as well.
That spot where he threw Wes Lee,
Mm-hmm.
That was a freaking spot. And I did not, because I was like, I'm not familiar with it's one of those things like, Oba, I wasn't familiar with your work. Now I'm intrigued. Like it's just, I didn't realize he could go like that. And have that presence.
Like his star potential is on the rise right now. I tell you,
yes.
It's like he's looking. He's getting even better.
Now I know
the
why
ladder match was interesting. The ladder match, I think they played a little bit safe. They didn't do too many crazy spots with the ladies.
No,
but you know what? That's okay. It's like I thought it was still a good match. There was some nice spots. That bump Lash Legend took when they dumped.
Oh, she died.
It's like that was nasty.
Like she ruptured a liver or something on that side where she hit. Like that was woo.
Yeah.
And the ladder didn't give. That's the problem. The ladder
did not give. That's why I was like, oh.
Yeah. It did not give, but I was surprised that Kalani got the.
I was also very surprised Kalani won. I thought Ruckus was going to take it, especially when she started handing out soul snatchers left and right.
Oh, she's definitely.
I told my friend James, I was like, watch out, watch this. I was like, watch her. Wait till you see what her finisher looks like. And he was like, whoa. Yeah. I was like, yeah, dude, it's like it's a badass
she's
finisher.
The female Randy Orton of just, and because she's hitting them like differently every time too.
Like the one she did off the ladder,
right?
I think, yeah, that was dope.
So I mean, but yeah, Kalani getting the win. I did not see that going.
They've been high in her, so it's like I was a little surprised, but not terribly surprised. I was like, I saw her as a possibility, but I thought Soul Ruckus was more likely. But Soul Ruckus is going to be fine. I think she's going to get pushed into the NXT women's title picture eventually. I think they're that high on her, but they're still high on Jada Parker. I mean, Jada Parker's got this feud with Medium going on. We'll talk more about that.
Right.
They have that's going places after this week's episode.
Yeah.
The underground match I thought was the weakest match, so it was still fine, but it felt like it didn't get into that next gear where I was just like, the last underground match, which was Eddie Thorpe against Dijak, that was awesome. This was all right.
Because the only thing I had compared, because I've been watching any of their underground stuff, so the only thing I had compared to was that Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler match, which was a bore of all bores.
Oh,
and this I was like, this was a lot different.
Yeah, no.
And then you're telling me that they did it before and it was better. I was like, oh, okay, because they are
the Eddie Thorpe Dijak one. That was the last match Eddie did before he got injured. They just came back this week, but yeah, no, the Eddie Thorpe Dijak underground match was much better than this.
NXT, I've realized they love them some Lola Vice right now.
Yeah, no, they're very high on her, and that it's like she's right in the NXT title picture after how NXT ended. We'll get to that in a little bit.
We'll get to that. Don't you be looking at my girl's title. Don't you be doing that. Don't you be doing that.
Yeah, the triple threat was good. I love the spot where after Gallus took out Obafemi for a bit, it was down to Coffee Wesley, and I love the camera where it's like Wolfgang and Joe Coffey's brother are watching, and then you see Obafemi rise up behind them, like it was like, I'm going to kill you. That was excellent,
like a final boss.
That was very Keith Lee like. It's like
I remember that. Too.
Yeah, there were some great spots. That was a really good triple threat.
Yeah. The tag match didn't go like I thought it would.
It didn't get into next gear. I still thought it was good, but it didn't. I thought that they and the Good Brothers would be able to get into like 4-star level gear, but it ended up being like 3.5. It was still good.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that this is a big win for Axiom and Nathan Frazier beating the Good Brothers.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they let Trick get over that cleanly over Ethan.
Yes. But they obviously still have plans for him because they were focusing in on him after the match. So it's like, I thought there would be more shenanigans to set up a rematch. I mean, he's already said he's going to be in the Battle Royal. So he's going to be in the Battle Royal trying to get on a title shot. So we'll see what happens. But now, match of the show, without question, was Roxanne versus Jordan. This was the match everyone was excited about. And dear God, did the ladies deliver.
Oh, my God.
This was awesome.
That's why I was like, when people were like, well, I don't know about her mics, goes, you shut up. You shut up right now. Okay? And then everyone that was just like, who's Jordan Grace? You know her now. And this is why you pay her 6 figures just to show up 3 times.
Feel bad for Jordan.
God.
Earrings got ripped out again.
Well, it kind of like it's kind of like some of the accidents actually end up working out better. Because now it just makes her look more kind of like a badass.
Yeah.
That she went through that, and then now she's saying, she goes, I guess I've got to retire my earrings. She's done with doing that. But this match, did you like how they try to sneak in that Tatum Paxley is going to show up on TNA?
Oh, they totally foreshadowed that she could be the one to answer the open challenge at tomorrow.
Right. But did you like that within the pay-per-view instead of maybe on an NXT or something?
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. I was really surprised. Like, well, it's like I'm like, I literally went, "What? Tatum Paxley? What the hell?"
Right.
And then I started laughing. I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Dana Brooke!"
Right, which she's in TNA. So
I love how Vic had to catch himself. He started to call her Dana Brooke, but then corrected himself to call her by her current name, Ash by Elegance.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, no, this match, I can't. It's so good.
I still think the finish is okay. The shenanigans, I felt like
the shenanigans for as good of a match. It could have been a 5-star level match that we're going to talk about as one of the match of the year, and then the shenanigans. I understand why they did it. That's my question. Is because you were on such a pace. We're just like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
My God. And then you're like, eh.
But, yeah, because Roxanne had to work hard. She was going after the arm. She was trying to limit her power moves, but Jordan kept fighting back and tossing her around.
Such a psychologically amazing.
There were some really good near falls and like counter for counter stuff that I really loved. But yeah, the shenanigans took away from the match just a little bit. But I had a feeling there had to be shenanigans because they didn't want to have Roxanne pin Jordan too cleanly to hurt her. So the shenanigans.
She's a champion.
Yeah, she's gonna win. It was like we knew Roxanne was not going to lose the title at this point.
She's never going to lose the title, Jess. She's never going to lose the title.
Lose?
She's not going to lose. She's not going to lose the title. She's never going to lose it.
I didn't say that. I said that you knew that. Chill, boy. So the shenanigans were designed to be a distraction that Roxanne took advantage of to finally win.
But this is the type of match that you would show to up and coming students and being like, this is how you work this type of different styles, this type of different build, body, all of that, and seem like these two are on the same level. And you just don't know where it's going.
You felt Jordan. It was on Rox and Roxanne were on the same level. Jordan was treated like a star, even though she's not signed with WWE. They treated her like she was a big deal. And it's like she gave Roxanne a run for money. It's like, this was no cakewalk for Roxanne. She had to work hard in order to win this match.
Yes.
Which is good for her. And it's also good for Jordan Grace definitely hinted that she's not done with WWE. She's like, she literally tweeted out, and it's like, until next time. She's like, she plans on coming back. So it's like, whether it's within the crossover or if she decides to jump to WWE once her TNA contract is up and she wants to jump ship. So I'm not going to be opposed. I think she's awesome.
Isn't it crazy that her husband has appeared on AEW, WWE, ROH, TNA? Like he's Gresham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's married to Gresham. So he was there, and that's what they showed him during the.
Gail Kim and a couple other.
Gail Kim was there because that's like she's Mrs. TNA.
Yeah.
And then Gresham was there because that's her husband, and then who was the other person?
I was surprised they didn't show him on camera, but I saw Sean Ross Sapp and other people tweet out that it's like they were spotting the crowd. They're like,
yeah. Whoever thought that we'd see Gail Kim because she hated Vince. He treated her like shit in a hand.
Oh yeah, that's why she left WWE and went to TNA.
Yeah,
like she got treated like crap.
She came back for 0.5, got a bag, and then was like, "Fuck this, I forgot." Now I know why I left. She went back to TNA and she carried that division for another decade.
Yeah.
So that she's like Mrs. T. That's why I said she's Mrs. TNA because she carried that division so much for that. But all in all, it was so good.
One other thing, what did you think of the post-show video with CM Punk and Roxanne?
Oh, what does she mean by hypocrite?
Because she's a heel. It's like she's gonna diss CM Punk because she's on the dark side now. She's not gonna listen to Daddy right now because he's a good guy.
I do like the fact that he is still putting his people over. I mean, it gave me goosebumps. Just I'm like, because I know the history. And because I'm a big Roxanne supporter,
that wasn't just,
and just
he just
seeing
didn't do that for there. He was apparently there for the whole show. He was not there just for the Roxanne thing.
Right. And the fact that they still did that, post, and he's like, "You're a great champion, but keep your head straight." And she's just like, "Who?" Hypocrite. And he just kind of was like, hypocrite, which is, it's like, he's not going to come back and do anything. Like it's just so just kind of left
like
it
he did with Cora Jade. He's looking out for his other daughter, Roxanne.
Right.
AJ's other daughter.
Yeah. The AJ clone that is Roxanne.
Dude, you know what would be perfect if that was a seed that eventually led to AJ showing up to try to like smack some sense into Roxanne.
Oh, or both of them? That'd be hilarious. Yeah. I doubt it. It's just, if we were going to never say never. Never say never.
But when Cora comes back, wouldn't that be funny if it's like AJ got involved in a Cora Roxanne feud?
Yeah, that would
like Bobby would be torn.
Right. That would actually be like perfect for AJ. It's just like, yeah, she just helps out NXT on that. But no, we've got it about another year until Roxanne makes the leap, and then it's Cora's division. Yeah. I'm guessing. I don't know. It's a long way away.
Nope.
But Roxanne
get for a run with the title before they call her up as well. So it's
right. And she especially with this match, this match was lived up to the hype and then some. Yes, a little bit of shenanigans, but man, the psychology that they worked, the fact that that one is just some beast, amazing athletic wrestler, and one is a technical specimen in Roxanne. And you understand that both of them were like, I don't know who could win. Where you typically would look like on paper, like, oh yeah, it's going to be Jordan Grace all day.
I know some people said they wished that Roxanne and Jordan had the main event slot, but I get why they gave it, because Ethan Page jumping over is also a big deal. So it's kind of like, and it's the NXT title still, so that still should be in the main event, unless other things come into play. It's like there have been takeovers where the NXT title was not the main event match, so it's like.
And you can tell that Ethan, as a wrestler, I know Trick is still not there yet. He is overall as a character. Yeah. But he's still not there yet in the ring, because you can tell that Ethan was still basically getting him through the match. Yep. But when Trick needed to be Trick, and his charisma we've talked about this ad nauseum.
Yeah.
But you could tell in this match, I'm like, Ethan was getting him through it. He is the professional that he is. There's a reason, and but I love the way they presented him of like, yes, this is the Ethan Page we were expecting when he was in TNA with Josh Alexander.
He looked great. And that goes right to something my friend James said when we were watching the show, because he hasn't seen much of Trick, but he goes, now I see why. He goes, I see why Trick. It's like why he's so over the fans. He's got charisma coming out of his ears. And I was like, exactly that. It's like that's one of the reasons why he's so over it now.
Yeah,
he's got the charisma.
And the Shawn Michaels character over talent sometimes makes sense, because Ethan Page is more talented in the ring than Trick, but Trick is a better character. But not to say like I love Ethan Page. I think he is that. I think he's on Trick's level as far as character work. We just haven't seen it yet. He hasn't been able to do it. Hey,
Giff, good to see it. Yes, yeah. Going way back to we were talking about Wardlow earlier. Yeah, it's like he was hot at one point, and then it's like Tony completely fumbled it, and he's never been able to recover.
Sounds basically with a lot.
It looked like he was finally going to read him properly, and then he jobs to Samoa Joe, and then it's like then he's back into irrelevancy.
The only one that he's finally was like realized he had something on his hands and like did it was Swerve. Swerve is the only one that's been like, oh yes, he stepped up.
He's really over the fans. He can pull the trigger,
and he pulled the trigger, and Swerve got there. That's the only time that I'm like, oh yeah, he finally freaking did what he's supposed to do, other than being already up there. But yeah, no, honestly, good job, Sean. Good job, everyone in NXT. This was a really This is a really good show. I liked it better than Stand and Deliver, honestly. It just delivered. It delivered. No pun intended. Yeah. It delivered a lot more than that. Because I mean, the Carmelo and Trick match was good, but yeah.
Check out Roxanne versus Jordan if you have not. It's
it is that good. It's never gonna be Bayley Sasha, but damn, it was getting there.
Yeah, it was getting there before the shenanigans happened.
Yeah,
but it was still awesome.
Still awesome. All right, earrings were lost.
Yep,
blood was spilled. Dreams were achieved. All right, let's go to SmackDown.
Yep. Okay, here's a recap of what happened on last week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Show opened with the new Bloodline coming out. Paul Heyman officially announced that Tonga was a member of the Bloodline. Recapped recent events. Solo stopped him and told him that he'd forgotten something, and it was to thank them for saving him from Kevin Owens last week. Paul thanked Girls Destiny. Tamega said that they did it on orders of the Tribal Chief. Then Kevin Owens ended up coming out to attack. He was outnumbered, but the Street Profits came out to make the save to even the odds, which set up a 6-man tag for later in the show, which was done by orders of Soul Sikoa. Told Heyman to get it done, or else it'd be Heyman versus Tama Tonga in the locker room. Then we had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill taking on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell in a non-title match. The tag team champions won. And they were attacked by their opponents for at the pay-per-view. Stark Baszler and Donna Alba Fire attacked and laid out the champions. Cody Rhodes was in the back waiting for AJ Styles to show up so he could kick his ass. Nick Aldis tried to get him to back down, and he said he would not. Apollo Crews was about to be interviewed backstage when he was jumped by Legado del Fantasma and beat up. LA Knight then went over to Nick Aldis asking where Logan Paul was, and he was told that he was not going to be there because he was going to do a Tetris tournament. Carmelo Hayes came up to talk smack once again to LA Knight, and since the Apollo Crews match wasn't going to happen, LA Knight asked Nick Aldis to let him take on Carmelo Hayes instead. Then we had Grayson Waller taking on Johnny Gargano. Grayson Waller picked up the victory. Nick Aldis security head to let Cody know that AJ was arriving about to arrive. He was prevented from getting after Styles because he was surrounded by Good Brothers security. So Cody stormed all the way to the ring, called AJ out. AJ and the Good Brothers came out with Nick Aldis and Scary trying to keep them apart. AJ gets the mic and doesn't care what Cody wants. He wants what he knows what he wants and to give it to him. And Cody's like, okay, I know what you want. You want a title match? Well, you've got it. But it's not going to be just any regular match. We're going to have an I Quit match for the WWE title. AJ was happy. Cody tried to get after him, but security held back, and AJ took advantage, trying to attack him. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill were interviewed. Said they were tired of the heels jumping them, so they were going to defend against both teams in a triple threat match at Cash Castle. Then we had Carmelo Hayes taking on LA Knight. LA Knight picked up the victory. After match, he got a cut up promo saying that he's done playing games with Logan Paul. If he doesn't want to come to SmackDown, he'll bring the SmackDown to Logan Paul. Tiffany Stratton tried to offer an alliance to Nia Jax. Nia Jax not impressed, but then her and Medium got into it again, which led to Mia dumping a drink on her and led to a brawl, setting up a match between them next week. Bayley came out to cut a promo about her match against Piper Niven, but Piper Niven Chelsea again came out. Piper Niven ended up cutting a really nice promo, talking about how she had to claw her way up to get to where she is now, and she plans on taking the WWE Women's title from Bayley in front of her home country and her family. And then Naomi talked smack to Chelsea Piper in the back, which set up a match with Chelsea and Naomi for next week. Then we got to the main event. Kevin Owens and the Street Profits taking on the Bloodline. Eventually, things got out of control, and Solo Sikoa lost his cool and used a steel chair on Montez Ford after he wiped out most of the Bloodline with a tope con hilo, causing a disqualification win for the faces. But the Bloodline beat them all down and then powerbombed Kevin Owens through the announce desk to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this past week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown.
You know how you get Carmelo Hayes over?
Give him wins.
Don't put him with LA Knight.
No, LA Knight's been smoking him, literally.
Every time.
It's like
he's already dead.
No, I don't think he's dead yet, but it's like get him away from LA Knight and have him do some other stuff because it's like LA Knight has owned him. It's
the Simpsons meme of like he's like LA Knight's already killed him. Like just why we prolonging this? And I'm because they were trying to make it more of a program, and then every time it's just like he would just flub his words, and LA would catch him on it, and it was just a masterclass of. You done stepped into the Bulls pen, son.
I'm not worried about Carmelo. I know that he's going to get the proper push. It's like
right.
It's like it's like they're obviously it's just part of it. Something they're doing with them, and so it's like I'm okay with it. It's like, but it's like give him some win soon. It's like it's like a poor guy.
Yeah, because he's got he's everything we saw in NXT, and it's not like they're not putting him in bad positions. It's just LA Knight.
His heat is.
Woo!
Off the charts still, Gip. It's like he's still mega over, man. And this feud with Logan Paul is heating up really nicely, man. It's like I'm all for him showing up at Logan Paul's house like he did to AJ because he said, "Hey, you're not gonna bring. I'm gonna bring SmackDown to you, pal." I was like, "Oh."
And then Logan Paul's little. I mean, obviously I don't know how many times they filmed it, but I hope it was just live because that promo about Logan, I'm just like, gosh, damn it, he can do a really good promo now.
Yeah.
Oh crap, this guy's got everything, isn't he? He's gonna be world champion by next year, so at some point, type of thing. Like Logan's there.
You mean former presidents? It's like
former presidents.
Yeah, no, he's
hey, he's trying to do the other president, but we're not.
Oh, he's got plenty of material.
He's got plenty of material even before he interviewed him. Yeah. He's got a lot of material.
Also, thank you, Tushka. Love you, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, I said in the Discord that after like they were like, man, I was like, dude, I knew this feud was gonna be golden when they were doing the ladder match, and each person came out to do like a little 2-second promo, and LA Knight came out, cut the best promo, and said, "Logo map, it's a map," and just I forget exactly what.
God, that was awesomeness. It's like he just ripped Logan Paul apart. It was great.
It's a map where you can find every place to stick up where to stick those primes, or something like that. I forget them, but ever since then I'm like, wait a minute, these two guys would be awesome together, and we thought we were gonna get it like multiple times. It just never happened. And then once Logan Paul got the U.S. title, we're like, can LA Knight go for that?
I loved the promo for Piper Niven on Bayley. That was awesome.
It's the first time ever that because I'm always for crowd interaction, but that was the first time ever I'm like, crowd, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, literally. But she got them to
yes. No, my Louisville crowd, when she says inbred say what, they're gonna say what. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're gonna say that. But she did finally get them to shut up but man, but the thing is, those typically will distract and make people flub. She stayed on target. Chelsea Green was perfect behind being like, that's right, she said it. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Chelsea Green plays her character so well.
Yes. And Piper Niven, this was the best promo of Piper Niven. Now, granted, they haven't given Piper a lot of time to say these type of promos.
This was needed for this feud. It's like she really needed that, and she did a really good job. I was really happy. I've always been high on Piper Niven, so I'm really glad that she's getting this time to shine going into Clash of the Castle.
She made some money on that promo. She made some money.
I don't know what to make of Tiffany trying to suck up to Nia Jax. I don't know if that's going to go anywhere. I'd rather my Tiffany stay away from Nia Jax, but they kind of put Tiffany in the background just a little bit. And I get that with some of the stuff that's going on, but as long as she's in Money in the Bank, I don't care.
It's like I like how Nia Jax jobbed to a freaking soda. I was like, oh no, she slipped. Oh, she slipped again. Oh god.
Oh yeah, no, especially like when Naomi was going after her, it's like she got like right behind like Piper, like she's her shield. It's like yeah, me too. I'm really glad she got the opportunity. That she really needed that. This is a good thing to talk about. Some people
we talked about that a little earlier.
Yeah,
kind of hinted at that. So yes, I don't think we still haven't sold on Solo. Now, number one, it's not totally Solo's fault because he basically, since beating John Cena at WrestleMania or wherever, was it WrestleMania 39? No, it wasn't WrestleMania 39. When did he beat John Cena?
SummerSlam? That was at Crown Jewel last year.
Okay. Ever since he squashed John Cena, he lost every match since.
Oh, he was in Jobberville for months.
Until Roman lost the title, and then they're like, all right, now Solo, you can be the guy now. And so,
every time the Bloodline was like in a multi-person match against Cody or whoever else they were fighting against, Solo 99% of the time was doing the job. It was either Solo or Jimmy.
So then now you're trying to make Solo the guy now. You have an uphill climb because you just told the audience for 4 to 6 months straight that he can't do anything. So now you have an uphill climb. Plus, he's still a little green on the mic. He never really said anything. He was very
he was always he was the silent enforcer for
right.
It's like he's slowly starting to come out of the shell. So it's like.
And that's what we're saying.
And it's not looking fine. It's like, they still got some work to do Solo, but it feels like they're getting there.
Yes, and he's finally and like I said, there's a reason Paul Heyman is there.
Yeah,
it's because he is chiseling Solo into being something.
Because he needs to be ready when Roman comes back because it's like because the fans are like dying for Roman to return. It's like and challenge Solo. So it's like. For control of the bloodline, so it's like.
So I can. It's slow. Yes, I'm not sold on Solo, but I like the little bits that they're doing each week, and Solo is doing the right beats.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know if it jumps the shark, and I'm just like, all right, there's no going back. But right now they're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Like he'll pretend that he was just like. Oh, yeah, no, I was just making sure everything was okay. Now that you're back, you're the tribal chief. And then him him and the Haku boys are going to beat the shit out of him.
Yes. The Haku boys is a better way to go than all the Talla Tonga Talla Tonga. Gosh damn it.
No, he's going to pretend like it's like that, he's happy that Roman's back and that, he's taking back control, and then he's going to turn on him.
No, I don't want that.
I could see that, but
again, you have a tag division.
Yeah.
Me and Justin have been saying this for all. I get what you're saying, and I like what you're saying, but that's old WWE where they just put.
I don't want Tiffany doesn't need to be a tag team. She needs to be going after the women's title. So that's why.
If there's,
I really want her to win. I think she's the best choice for women to win women's Money in the Bank at this point.
Yes,
honestly.
And if there's any time
because that perfectly sets up, because like Bayley's going to be all worried about Nia Jax winning the SummerSlam, and like if she somehow survives Nia Jax, then Tiffany can swoop in when she least expects it and steal the title with the Money in the Bank briefcase from her.
Yes, and also too with Jade and Bianca, we knew they're both way above any other tag team, and we get that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have them lose the titles, they're not going to take the pin. And so Clash of the Castle, they're in a triple threat, which means they technically don't have to take the pin to lose the titles. I don't think they're going to lose the titles.
No.
But that's the way you have to do it in order to protect them and still be viable for the new winners.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy AJ and Cody are running it back. I Quit adds all kinds of fun to their rematch. So that's going to be awesome. AJ was very much in a Batista. Give me what I want.
Yeah.
Give me what I want.
And then just like the Good Brothers, they fit like a glove.
Yeah.
Every time when heel AJ is around, it's just they fit like a glove.
They do.
With that, and then also too, damn, did Grayson show me that I forgot how athletic he was.
Yeah,
that was a fun match.
I don't like that they're teasing breaking him and Austin Theory up. So
I don't either at all.
No, they don't do that.
I don't like that at all. But Grayson and Johnny wrestling put on a fun match.
Oh, absolutely! I love that he was just like It's like the longer it took for AJ to show up, the more angrier he was getting. Because he wanted to get his hands on AJ and rip him apart. It was that's the Cody I like to see. And it's like he is like no nonsense BS. It's just like, no, I'm here to kick ass. Yeah, the crowd loved it.
Yes, so it was overall this was a fun show.
It was a good show. Yeah,
it was a really good show. Move storylines and stuff along, and the fact that Cody was like, we're gonna do a match of something you should have said last week. I quit.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's why he chose stipulation. It's like because of the fake retirement.
This is the it's the fourth I Quit match that AJ has been in his career.
Wow, he hasn't done that many. Interesting.
Yeah, it's the fourth that he's done. So, but yeah, so far so good with SmackDown. Let's move on to Raw.
Yeah, this is a long one. All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre came out to cut an opening promo. Was hit, of course, with CM Punk chants. Cut a promo about taking on Damian Priest at Clash of Castle and winning the title. Damian Priest and Judgment Day came out to rebut. And the back and forth led to Priest making Drew an offer. He would face Finn Balor in the main event. The stipulation that if Finn won, Judgment Day would stay at ringside for the title match. But if Drew McIntyre won, Judgment Day would be banned from ringside for the title match. Liv Morgan appeared in the Judgment Day locker room, much Dominic Mysterio's unhappiness, but continued to do some and said that he needs a woman who's not afraid to call him daddy, and gave him the key to her hotel room, told her to come and visit later after the show. Then we had Io Sky taking on Lyra Valkyria. Thanks to shenanigans, Io Sky was able to pick up the victory. Afterwards, Damage Control tried to beat down on Lyra, but Katana Chance and Kaden Carter ran out to make the save, making Damage Control back off. Finn Balor and JD came into the locker room, talked strategy called Lido, And he explained what happened with Liv. Carlito thought it was cool that she gave him her hotel room key, but Finn Balor was like, no. And argued about what to do about it. Sammy ran into the other members of Alpha Academy minus Chad Gable. Asked to make sure that Maxine was okay. Saw Otis, told him he'll see in the ring. Otis stopped him and said that he lost it last week and he's sorry about it and doesn't want it to happen again. Sammy says he doesn't have to explain. He's sympathetic to him, but he doesn't understand why he puts up with Gable. Otis says that he once had it all, but then lost it. Money in the Bank, briefcase, Mandy Rose, his partner Tucker. But Chad Gable came in and saved him. Without him, he'd be nothing. But Sammy says, not true. He is more than that, nothing. That's just Chad's words meant to keep him down, and he hopes that one day he sees that he's not nothing himself. Finn Balor was chatting with JD about strategy when Damian Priest rolled up to interrogate Dom why he didn't come out during the Omega segment. Finn tries to sue him, and when he finds out about the key, explains that the Liv Morgan hotel room key is staying right at the table. But it's mysteriously missing, and no one can figure out what happened to it. Logan Kaiser cut a promo about taking out Sheamus last week with his A-plus talent and A-plus ruthlessness, and he intends to be in the Money in the Bank match and win it. Then we had a six-man tag. Braun Strowman teamed up with the Latino World Order in the form of Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee to take on Judgment Day and Carlito in the form of Jan Mysterio and JD McDonough. Braun Strowman and the LWO picked up the victory. Ricochet visited Ilya Dragunov, gave him a pep talk, had his match against Braun Breaker tonight, and said that he knows Dragunov's going to take care of Braun, and then when that's settled, he and they two will tangle and have another match. Sami Zayn was heading to cut a promo. Io Sky was freaking out backstage, upset about what's happened lately, and screamed that Damage Control needs to change, making Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane a little worried. Sami came out to cut a promo about facing Chad Gable, promising to put an end to him in this feud at Clash of the Castle. Chad came out with Alpha Academy to rebut. Gable once again tried to reason with things and said that he was going to unleash the best version of Otis who was going to hurt Sammy. So Otis and Sammy had a match. Chad Gable was barking orders at Otis, and that distracted him enough for Sammy to hit the Luva kick and pick up the victory in pretty short order, actually. After the match, Gable attacked Sammy and beat him down, while Tozawa and Maxine tried to check on Otis. He kicked him out of the ring and told Otis to help him beat up Sammy. Slapped him. Otis looked like he was going to turn on him, but he ended up laying out Sammy, and then teased hitting Chad Gable, but couldn't pull the trigger yet. We had found out that R-Truth had a fortune teller revealed to be Scarlett, telling him that he and Miz were going to defend the tag team titles against APA, which actually was AOP later in the show. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill came out to sit by commentary and watch as Elba Fire and Isla Dawn took on Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Shayna Baszler choked out Elba Fire with the Kirifuda clutch to pick up the victory. Then we had the match of the show. Braun Breaker was Ilya Dragunov. Awesomeness as you would expect from these two. Ilya came close, but in the end, Braun Breaker was able to hit another devastating spear to put Ilya down long enough to pick up the victory. He went to try to hurt Ilya more after the match, but Ricochet came out to make the save. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre had a chat in the back. Gave him a pet dog after losing to Kaiser. Sheamus said that he was going to get him back, but he plans on getting into the Money in the Bank match and winning it. And Drew is cool with that, just tells him that if he does win the briefcase, to give him a heads up before he cashes in out of respect for their friendship, and that they agree if they tangle for the title, it will be banger after banger. The Authors of Pain took on Awesome Truth with the WWE World Tag Team Championship on the line. Awesome Truth picked up the victory thanks to some distracting help from the New Day, who ran out to attack the Testament. In the back, Ricochet was shown helping Ilya Dragunov to medical to get himself checked out. When Braun Breaker came out of nowhere, speared Ilya again. Ricochet fought back against Braun. They brawled out to the back near the production trucks. Braun took control, lawn darted Ricochet right into the Jimmy Hart face on the side of production truck, reminiscent of Nash doing that to Rey Mysterio on Nitro back during the Monday Night Wars. Then Braun finished it by power slamming him on top of a car into a windshield. As we came back to ring, we found out that Ricochet was being loaded into an ambulance to go to the hospital. Samantha Irving was distraught, left ringside, and went into the ambulance to be at Ricochet's side, make sure that her fiance was okay. So without Samantha Irving, Pat McAfee stepped up to do the announcing for the main event match. Drew McIntyre taking on Finn Balor with the steps for the title match on the line. In the end, despite Judgment Day attempted shenanigans, Drew McIntyre hit Finn Balor with the Claymore to pick up the victory, guaranteeing that Judgment Day is banned from ringside for his title match against Damian Priest at Clash of the Castle. Drew and Priest faced off, jaw-jacking to close out the show. That's all that happened on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw.
So is this the last time we see Ricochet?
R.I.P. Ricochet. For now.
So here's what I'll say about that segment. Number one, it's probably the best segment Ricochet's ever been a part of since in his WWE career, arguably. Like I can't think of
selling. He sounded like it's like he like something. It's like he was really fucked up. Yeah. He did a great selling job.
Great selling job, and then the lawn dart, like he took that bump really good. That shout out to Rey Mysterio.
I was like, oh, that's Rey Mysterio. No.
Yep. Yep. With that, but here's the thing. This is what Bully Ray said on his podcast. Of course, he's a big WWE guy. He doesn't like AEW at all. But he did say, he goes, why was Samantha Irvin there if you're writing him off and he wasn't going to resign? And I was like, I get that because she played it up. She left. Pat McAfee took over.
He did a good job of like acting like it's like that. She was like that. He'd been like legit hurt. It's like I thought she did a great job.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm kind of with them of like, I'm 99.9
because they've made it well known for a long time that they're a couple and that they're
right.
It's like, I mean, do you remember the Miracle on 34th Street fight from like Christmas like a year and a half ago?
There's only two other times that they've actually recognized that they're a couple. Is the when Braun brought the thing and they have her kiss Ricochet and that woke him up so he could go kick ass. And then Logan Paul, basically talking shit to her the whole time, saying like, "How's it gonna feel when I pin your boy or what blah 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 whatever he said." In the middle of the ring. But that's the only basically 1.5 times that it's been brought up that they're together until now. Why would you bring her up if you were just writing him off the show?
That's a good point.
And I was like, damn it, Bully, you brought up a good point.
That'd be the end. I mean, it's like I think they could easily kind of come back one more time.
Because even though he gave his notice, I think they're doing that, and it's smart booking of F you go away. It still leaves maybe this is their last ditch effort of like, come on, Ricochet, we can do something with you.
Yeah, really, Jerry. Yeah, totally, Jerry. Oh, I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I typically was like, all right, that's a way to write off Ricochet, blah, blah. Samantha Irvin makes total sense. She just wants to be there but then the thing is, I'm like, wait a minute, story wise, why did they include her?
Yeah.
If they were never going to talk about it again.
Also, especially if Braun starts harassing her, it's like, oh, look out.
Right. Because that's another thing that they brought up too. It's just like if I was booking it, I'd have Braun, really taunt the crap out of her and be like, "Hey, you like what I did to your boy?" Or whatever he says. I don't know how he's gonna phrase it, but it's just basically like I make you're having to go home and just and nurse your fiance because I.
The other interesting thing about this was that Michael Cole and Pat McAfee brought up several times that Adam Pearce was not at Raw this week. He was not there. So what's Adam Pearce going to do now with Braun after this?
I don't know, but I will miss the crazy triangle that was Braun, Ilya, and Ricochet though, because that was building up to be some fun stuff.
Yeah. It's like I was thinking the same thing, Jeremy. It would totally make sense that Braun Strowman is going to go after Braun because, Ricochet's his buddy.
Yeah.
So it's like he just made it. He just made another enemy.
Right. Are you mad that your girl Lakiria took the pin?
No, because
Io
needed to win.
Io needed it.
Yeah, and there was chicanery. Especially with the rest of Damage Control ringside, I'm okay with it. It's like, it's obviously they're doing a little mini feud between the two of them for now. So I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Interesting that they had, because I was like when they were beating her down, like, gee, who's gonna come out to save her? Becky's not around right now, and then Kaden Kitana. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Just have them come out. They're still there.
It definitely sounds like something's going to happen with Damage Control because Io is
pissed.
Is still pissed. But Crazy Io is awesome Io, so I'm loving this.
I love. Io's doing some
when she is unhinged, like when she first went heel and went into unhinged, it's like it's just awesomeness.
Hold on, Jeremy. We'll get to Liv in the
because I forgot a very important thing in the recap that I realized that after it was recorded, I couldn't. It was late, and I didn't want to bother redoing it. It was shown that Finn Balor is the one who took the Liv's room key. So
they did get out of the same car together a couple weeks ago.
So the intrigue continues.
Yeah, the intrigue continues, and Carlito was hilarious this episode.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And then him getting freaked out by the pyro because he's still getting used to being in Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I like that.
Carlito, he's adding a different little bit of levity to the Judgment Day stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not of course, not on the level of our true soul angle of wanting to be in Judgment Day, but I like what they're doing with Carlito joining Judgment Day. I love that line where she's like, "You deserve a woman who's not afraid to call you daddy." Right. I thought it was a great line. Liv's promo work lately has actually improved. I like how she's trying to seduce Dom.
Her character work has been pretty good.
Yeah.
Her character work has been very good with that. And and they need that. So, but the fact that it's Dom, of all people, you could have told me a year ago that Dom would be in this love triangle with Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and he was just an innocent bystander at this point of just I didn't want this, but she wants to take everything from Rhea. Yeah. So it's just kind of always in the. It's just long storytelling.
She's going after Dom. She's worming her way into everybody in Judgment Day except Damian Priest. She's she's going after both Finn Balor and Dom at the same time. This is getting interesting.
So Michael Cole popped me for one of the most out of left field funny Michael Cole kind of a dad joke type of comments. I don't even remember, but when Braun came out, it was speaking about monsters among monsters. It's kind of weird that we have the monster among men and the referee looks like Dracula, and it popped. It popped Pat McAfee. It popped me. I'm like, where did that come from?
I know. It's
I was just laughing, and then Michael Cole like forgot who was a legal man or whatever, and Pat McAfee had to correct him, and I'm like, okay, I like this chaos because it feels organic.
And then Pat McAfee with the subtle Joe Hendry reference.
Yes.
Say his name and he appears.
Right, exactly. Say his name, and with the Damian when he says something about when Drew at the beginning he said something about Damian Priest, and he came out and goes, "Say his name, he'll appear." And I was like, "All right, cool." And then they did the Braun, him and Dragon him and Dragon Lee did the Ricochet finish, so that was good there.
No, I like Dragon Lee coming off of Braun's shoulders. I thought that was a nice spot. Also, unintentionally funny thing, when Braun was lifting up Selena Vega by one arm, and she's like, "Oh my god!"
I forgot that I shared that on the Discord. I was like, "This is hilarious," and she just like played with like, "Oh my god, what the hell are you doing?"
Braun, you're ripping my arm off. Stop.
Yeah. So let's get in a couple things that were kind of like whatever on the show. For one thing, I understand why Alba.
The best match of the night was Ilya Braun. Nothing against Finn and Drew, which was good. Ilya Braun was banger.
Right. Yeah.
That was like pay-per-view level quality. Awesome.
Yeah. Dude, I like that Shayna and Zoe are wearing the same. Like they're actually a tag team.
Yeah,
I do like
the
that.
Outfits, like Jade and Bianca do.
Right. I like that they're finally like, okay, we're a team. But I don't like the fact that you're trying to make Isla and Alpha
you're
Fire
supposed to build them up as a threat, and then you job them.
Shayna
and Zoe before the pay-per-view. That made no fucking sense. I hated that.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. The match was fine. It was kind of quick.
The other awesomeness was the whole.
Yeah, I was getting put that a pin for a second because I'm gonna go over the other middle stuff middle row, and then we'll end with that. The other stuff was is the bit with R-Truth getting stale now.
Him and Miz together is stale. They need to get the titles off them ASAP.
It's just stale.
They're just stale. R-Truth is still funny, but it's like him and it's like, yes, I was happy that R-Truth got his moment at WrestleMania, but it's time to get the titles off them onto a real team, like the Creed brothers or even AOP. It's like, I think that's coming. I think when the Creeds turn heel, they're going to destroy Miz Truth and take those tag titles.
Right. Okay. So I just want to get those two other things out of the way, and then okay. Now for the Sammy, Otis, and Chad Gable and all that stuff, I'm loving every single second that we get on screen. Yes. And I don't think the Creed brothers are going to show up because I think the story is getting over more than they realized it was going to get over.
Yeah.
They still might pull the trigger, and I love the fact that Sammy did the whole I got manipulated with Roman stuff thing, and Otis goes, "You don't understand. I lost, I lost Rose. I lost Mandy Rose. I lost Tucker. He literally went through
the big briefcase.
Right, I lost money in the big briefcase. I lost everything.
He brought all that up.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like that, the fact that they let him do that long form storytelling and why he's still sticking with Chad, even though Chad's being a douche.
Like that, it was after that all like went to hell. That when his association with Chad Gable took him in and was like, no, I can help you, and that's when Alpha Academy formed.
Right.
So it's like he's correct. It's like Chad was there for him when he hit rock bottom. It's like he because that was at his height of his popularity, and then Vince completely flushed it down the toilet.
Right.
So I'm glad they brought that up. So it's like, yeah. And like I was saying, he's like, yes, I do get it, but you're not nothing. It's like, yes, he was there for you, but at some point you can only take so much. What he's doing to you right now is wrong. What he's doing to all of you is wrong. He's treating you like shit.
Right.
It's like he's treating you like his lackeys and slaves, not as his friends. Right. And it's like at some point you need to wake up and stand up for yourself.
And I think it's at the detriment of Sami Zayn's title run.
Yeah, I will not be surprised if Chad wins the title on Saturday.
Yeah, because I'm just like but it stinks because I like Sami and
it's they can't delay it for too much longer because the fans want it really bad.
But this is but like the thing is, it's kind of the same thing a lot of times is when you finally get to that mountaintop, what do you do now?
That's what made me surprised that it's like
he mentioned Tucker.
Yeah. He hasn't Tucker's not he hasn't mentioned Tucker in years.
He mentioned Tucker. But and then he also but yeah, like ever since Sami Zayn, which we've all thought Chad Gable should have had that spot, he gets the spot and he dethrones Gunther, and then ever since then it's been, I guess we just gave it to Sami to have that moment, and now we're trying to figure out what to do because ever since then he's been booked pretty meh.
Which I'm okay with because, like I said, I didn't feel like Sami needed the Intercontinental title.
No, he
didn't. The world title picture.
Yes, on that, and then.
But you know what? Think about though, him beating Gunther for the Intercontinental title perfectly sets up when Gunther finally wins the world title. Sami comes going for him and be like, "I beat you. I've beaten you once. I can do it again."
Yeah, it's a good point.
Exactly. That's a perfect setup for a world title feud between Sami and Gunther next year.
Best part of the McIntyre Finn Balor match was Pat McAfee's calling out to the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
That bum ass Judgment Day at 0% body fat in a 210-pound frame.
Pat McAfee was hilarious doing the intros, especially for Drew McIntyre, and Drew was playing along with it, like, thanks, Pat.
That beautiful bastard from Scotland.
Like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be funny. But he's like, I can do this, Cole. I'll step up. I'll fill in for Samantha. Are you sure?
It's just that's the reason. Like, you can just tell it's still like a Triple H and why it's entertaining is because the shows flow organically.
Yeah,
it doesn't. You don't have those 3-minute, vignette, like 3-minute segments from what happened in the past for some dumb reason. I don't know why they ever did that. And then they fill it up with like no wrestling. Like the show flows organically and it's entertaining because they realize that the audience isn't dumb. And you're a 3-hour soap opera, we're gonna watch it from the weeks before. And the fact that you're bringing up Tucker and Mandy and all that stuff, we applaud that because you recognize the people that keep watching. Yeah. So that's. Because
that's what happened. Because it's like that, him losing all that stuff happening is what led into him teaming up with Chad Gable and becoming Alpha Academy.
Yes, because they realized basically the big experiment was the bloodline. Yeah. Of going over what 4 years or something like that. It was ridiculous of how long that bloodline lasted, or like that run of over 1,000 days. And they realized that the audience was invested the whole time. Yep. So they realized, oh my God, long form storytelling keeps the audience engaged. Let's try with other stuff and other superstars. Holy shit, it works too. And it keeps keeping people coming back, not just for one segment, but multiple. Such a crazy thing. So, and just because the ratings dipped for like 2 seconds, oh, we got to change everything because obviously the audience, no, shit happens. Maybe, but it doesn't seem that the people are still not going to come back. So, hats off to them doing the shout outs. There's multiple segments on this show that I was into. It's still hard to book a 3-hour show, which is why, unfortunately, the Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark match fell flat. Still interested to see where Xavier Woods and the New Day fit in with the AOP stuff because they kind of went with R-Truth. I don't know. But overall, solid show there.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to Dynamite.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Show opened with AEW champion Swerve cut a promo on Will Ospreay ahead of their match at Forbidden Door, saying that him and Will go way back, they're friends, and he's seen him be a killer, but he doesn't see that killer assassin instinct in him lately, and says that's not going to be enough to beat him for the title. Started talking smack about the Elite and the Young Bucks, say that, he's a defending champion while they have not yet defended their tag team titles since winning them. The Elite came out to rebut. They announced that Blood and Guts was going to happen next month, and saying that since there's only 4 of them in Elite right now, they're looking to recruit a 5th member. They offered it to Swerve, including a present of Young Buck Reeboks. Swerve declined and tossed the shoes into the crowd to some lucky fan. The Elite went to attack Swerve, but the Acclaimed with Daddy Ass came out to back him up. So it looks like we got part of Team AEW heading into Blood and Guts. Then we had a TNT Championship qualifying match for the ladder match at Forbidden Door to crown new champion. Natural Dustin Rhodes taking on Scapegoat Jack Perry. Dustin, of course, got busted open and blood all over the place. Put up a good fight, but in the end, Jack Perry hit him with the running knee for the victory and is now in the ladder match at Forbidden Door. Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe cut a promo ahead of their six-man tag coming up in the show. Roosh took on a guy and squashed him in short order. Grabbed a mic and started talking trash about him and the fans, saying that he's a typical weak American just like everybody else. MGF came out and the two got into a brawl that lasted all around the ring, into the crowd, into the back before it was finally broken up by Christopher Daniels and security and referees. That led to Excalibur saying that Tony Khan informed them that MGF and Rush would have a one-on match to open next week's Dynamite and would be commercial-free. Then we had the Don Callis family in the form of Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Roderick teaming up with Roderick Strong to take on Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy. In the end, the heels actually picked up the victory with Kyle Fletcher pinning Mark Briscoe. Trip Burton came out to attack Orange. While the Undisputed Kingdom kept Kyle O'Reilly at bay. Willow tried to make the save, but was attacked by Chris Statlander and laid out on the ramp. And Stokely cut a promo telling her that next time she butts their nose into him and Statlander's business, they're going to send her to the ER. Christopher Daniels announced that that the Elite would be qualifying eliminator matches to determine opponents for their titles starting next week, with the Young Bucks taking on the Acclaimed. Then we had Hook and Samoa Joe taking on the Premier Athlete brand of Aria Daivari and Tony Nese. Shibata came out to back them up, and all three men choked out everybody, including Mark Sterling. And Hook and Samoa Joe picked up the victory. Then we had Mercedes Moné defending the TBS Championship and against Zeuxis. Mercedes Moné, of course, retained. Then we had the Learning Tree segment with Private Party. Less said about it, the better. Don't care. The Bang Bang again cut a promo challenging the House of Black to a match on Collision for its 1-year anniversary. Then we had Daniel Garcia squashing Nick Camarato in short order, as both Will Ospreay and MGF were shown watching in the back. Pat cut a promo saying that he's tired of losing, so he's planning on entering the Owen Hart Cup tournament and winning it, so he can get a title shot in his home country in Wembley Stadium. And also warns the Bang Bang Gang that Death Triangle is not done with them yet and will get their payback. And then we had our main event, Will Ospreay defending the AEW International title against Rey Fenix. Fantastic matches you expect between these two guys. Will Ospreay won with the Hidden Blade. After the match, Swerve got into the ring. Will Ospreay after a handshake, but Swerve said he's still acting like a child and he's not ready to hold both titles on his shoulders. He's not strong enough. Ospreay yanks the world title away from him and puts both belts on his shoulders. Swerve takes it back and then whispers into Ospreay's ear, saying that he's lucky that they're still friends, because if that had been anybody else who just did that, he'd put them in the grave. And the two continued to have words to close out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite.
Dude, every week Swerve just impresses me more.
Yeah, and it's like it feels like they're finally giving him his due with the championship, where it's kind of like felt like yeah, we gave it to him, and it's like we don't know. Which is why he it's like he needs to beat Ospreay. It's like they're definitely hinting that it's like with the he's like you don't have the killer instinct right now. You're hesitating, and you if you do that against me, you lose.
Yeah. Yeah, they're Tony, like we were saying with Wardlow, where Tony kept dropping the ball with him. He's letting Swerve be Swerve.
Yeah.
And he was kind of dropping the ball when he signed Swerve, and then Swerve kind of came in and did the Hangman stuff, which I think that's the fifth guy for the Elite, just because it's Swerve. So they're gonna go into that. But I popped so hard when they gave him the shoes, and he goes, so I'm kind of a philanthropist, Puma, or Puma needs to throw some.
Yeah. I'm a size 9, by the way.
I'm a size 9, by the way. So that was pretty good. Then obviously Rainmaker with my house, bitch.
Yeah, I know. I like heel Okada.
He's good.
Funny.
With that, did you notice Orange Cassidy's Titantron?
It changed. Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, it was like Trent sucks and like had like his mom rode him over the car and like all.
Yeah, no, I like that. I thought it was nice.
Yeah.
God, I love Mark Briscoe. God, he's
something, man.
He broke just about everybody in that backstage segment. Renee and everybody were trying not to laugh.
Yeah, just so funny. I'm just glad that this is all right, Jack. Like I said it before, and I'll sound like a broken record. Jack Perry, you won me over. You finally got me realizing that
the match wasn't great, but
no, not the match, but just him as his character work.
His character work is what's winning me over.
Right. We'll get to Phoenix and Ospreay. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Well, that's been building for a while because the Young Bucks made that deal with Christian Cage to give him a title shot when he didn't really deserve it. So it's like they've been coming after Swerve for a while. So now it's like he's making it, let him know, like, I'm tired of your shit. So,
what are they going to do with Mercedes? That's going to be relevant.
That's a good question. We'll see after Forbidden Door.
Okay.
She needs to have a good opponent.
Okay.
Feud with.
Okay. That's all. That's it for the Mercedes Monet segment.
Willow's dealing with Chris Statlander and that whole angle. So it's like,
I did. Wrestle Talk said this in their review, and I didn't realize it until they said it. They did like the opening segment because it reminded them of like the old cool WWE days, where like this person comes out and this person interrupts, then this person interrupts, and this person interrupts. I was like, I'm just so used to seeing that I didn't realize that's what they were doing.
Yeah, no, it's become such a staple for a long time. It's like you forget.
Yeah, and then we haven't seen that type of like this person comes out, then this person comes out, then this person comes out. That used to be like every opening segment from like 1997 to 2001, type of thing on there. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to?
I like the MJF Rusha brawl. That was good.
Oh, and then him calling his now girlfriend, but it's a shout out to the old Connor Sugar Tits.
Yep.
Poor Alan. When he got out of the car, and that's his now girlfriend, Alicia Tout. Is that how you pronounce her last name? It's like a Tout. Look up. That's a infamous interview where she was interviewing him back in the indie days. But yeah, it was a fine show. I'm worried. I'm just worried.
It wasn't a home run.
I'm worried about AEW right now.
Oh yeah, I'm concerned
because they pulled under 700,000 views. And
no, NXT got a better rating than Dynamite did
for 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to think. I'm like, how can you bring the audience back? Because it's not like you're not entertaining, but you're not bringing other people. It's
not like the show completely sucks, but it's like it's just so inconsistent. I mean, as good as the Swerve Ospreay feud is building to, then you got the fucking learning tree shit with Jericho, which is just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's getting so much screen time.
Right.
But it's like Jericho, Bill, and Keith they're trying their best to make this work.
Yes, they are.
The crowd just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And also it doesn't help that you bring in Private Party who have no heat.
No, nothing.
Nobody gives a fuck about Private Party anymore. And that's partly AEW's fault, and also unfortunate circumstances because, like, there's been injuries for them. They got sucked into the Matt Hardy vortex and were stuck there for a long time and went nowhere. So it's like nobody gives a crap about them, and sadly, people still like the Acclaim, but they're not over like they were. Like
no, when I was like, oh, who's gonna help Swerve out, and then Acclaim music hit, I'm like, I don't care.
They're not getting. It's because they screwed up their push. It's like I'm happy that they're finally getting something, but it's like that's the problem. Is like it doesn't matter if the match is good. It's like if people aren't invested in the characters, people are not going to care.
No. And the thing is I'm just worried. The reason I'm worried, and yes, it's probably going to go to HBO Max. Warner's still wants to keep Dynamite.
They're going to put AEW's library in HBO Max and
right.
Max.
Yes,
it's going to be probably that's probably one of the parts of the deal they're going to.
Yes, and going against the NBA Finals didn't help.
Oh no, NBA Finals hurt them big time.
Hurt them. I understand that, but from the show that I'm watching, you're still only averaging 780. 790.
It's like you're barely getting close to 1 million. It's like they used to average around 1 million like 2 years ago, and it's all about how things are booked. I mean, there's good stuff, but there's also bad stuff, and there's no consistency.
Right, like I kept telling you, Tony is a great matchmaker. He's not a booker.
WWE right now, WWE has a lot of good stuff going on, but they also got some crap going on. So it's like, but there's more good stuff than bad. Where right now, with AEW, it fluctuates from week to week, where you can have a really good Dynamite or you can have a really crappy Dynamite.
Right. And plus, because they're such a young company and they already have 3 shows, and it's just like no one cares about Collision anymore because
I will not argue against that. Jeff, that would probably would have helped them a long time ago. To be honest, because it's like they're not mega over like they were when they had the tag titles.
Oh, thank you, Giff. I almost forgot. I've loved this.
That's one of the other things I love Samoa Joe and Hook right now. They are one of the highlights. I love the banter Samoa Joe has with Hook before they go out.
But the color orange, he's like, that's Syracuse. He's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. I also love their talk about. Did you see the one from Collision? Before they attacked Mark Sterling them in the locker room, where he's like, "So you're telling me lacrosse is the oldest sport in America?" Yeah, it's like it's hockey and this, and it was created before them. Yeah, bro, that don't make any sense.
All right, Giff, I'll watch Collision if you say it's a fun.
Also, he called Shibata Speak and Spell.
I just like Samoa Joe and Hook, of like Samoa Joe being like the cool uncle to Hook.
Yes. He's the cool mentor right now.
Right.
Also, did you see the spot where he did the Samoa Joe where like nope, and they panned over to Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe was like, yes, he's learning.
Yeah, because I remember when he came out, like when I've told you, was it last week that was it 2 weeks ago, he whispered into Hook's ear, and like he went back or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, they're gonna do this thing. This is gonna be hilarious.
I was like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. This is one of the best things they got going is the Hook Samoa Joe.
I called that one. I was like, this is gonna be great, and I can't believe I forgot it. Thank you, Giff.
This is reinvigorated Hook big time.
Yes. I saw that coming. It's the same thing when I was just like, you know who Austin Theory needs? Grayson Waller.
And I love that Shibata's like their buddy. It's like
yeah, he's hanging out. So yes, but yeah. If anyone put in the comments below if you're watching this video, how can AEW get back to being consistently good other than Tony Khan just putting random indie shows together on a Dynamite?
Right. It's like, and it also the fact that they have such a large roster and there's a lot of people that are not being used. Like, Miro's not on television because he's hurt. Right. Keith Lee's not on television because he's hurt. Adam Cole's still hurt. 2 of their biggest women on their women's roster, Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, are still out.
Yeah.
Kenny's still out. So they have a lot of big people are missing. But at the same time, you got people like Wardlow and Ricky Starks who if their pushes have been completely botched, and now they're not on TV and they're barely being used.
Yeah. So I don't know. All right. Well, let's move on to the final show. That is
Let's
NXT.
end on a little bit more slightly positive note. NXT.
Slightly positive, even though AEW, you're
Yeah.
still putting on fun shows. We want you to be better. That's it.
We love it. I still love AEW, but I just want it to be better. It's like it can be better.
It can be better. Trust me. We posted. Go watch Wrestle Talks. This weird time in 2019 when Raw. Did you watch that video? And like had that. I'm like, I did not realize it was that bad.
Yeah.
Oh my
god.
No,
it's like people think it's like you want to see bad. Go watch WCW 1999 2000. That's awfulness, especially 2000.
We might do is comment below if you want Justin to like show me a random episode of WCW, have me react to it.
Just go watch some of the highlights from Who Killed WCW on Vice to see how awful WCW was before it went under.
Yeah, don't give 100% creative to one of your stars.
Certain people.
Yep. Yeah, certain people. And then also don't put a guy who's making a lot of money in a technical match with like one of the greatest wrestlers ever.
Yep.
All right. Let's go to NXT. Oh, is this the right one? Okay. Yep. It is. There we go.
All right. Here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of NXT. Fallout from Battleground this past Sunday. Show opened with the new and first ever NXT Women's North American Champion, Kalani Jordan. Came out to cut a promo about winning and everything, and that she plans on defending the title and providing a lineage for other people to follow. Jada Parker came out to talk trash, and she was jumped from behind by Michin Mia Yim, which led to the opening match between Jada Parker and Michin. The Good Brothers came out to back up their friend, and at one point, Jada Parker tried to cheat by grabbing a steel chair. Collins stopped her. That allowed Michin to roll up from behind to pick up the victory. The New Catch Republic had a video promo saying that they were backing up Wesley against Gallus tonight. They also showed Cody Rhodes arriving to the show. We had a vignette where Chase U and Ridge Holland were trying to hash out their differences. Finally, Thea Hale told everyone to shut the F up and sit down, and read them all the right act, saying that Chase U gave second chances. A lot of people, Duke included, and that Ridge deserved the same. Then we had the six-man tag, Gallus taking on Wesley, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate. Good match, lots of chaotic action. But in the end, Gallus won with Joe Coffey hitting Wesley for all the best for the bells. Jay Parker was talking to Out the Mun, saying she was going to take care of Medium and run her ass out of NXT. Then we had the return of Wendy Chu taking on Brinley Reese. Wendy Chu is not all happy-go-lucky anymore. She had a very creepy, almost Nightmare for Christmas kind of look going on. Quickly squashed Brain Leasley and made her choke her out for a submission victory. So looks like Wendy Chu is back, and she's gone to the dark side. Brian Sachs tried to capture Rox Perez outside the parking lot and try to get some information about what she was going to say tonight in her State of the Women's Division address, and she said just to wait and see. And said the same thing to Robert Stone. Cody Rhodes came out, cut a little bit of promo about facing AJ Styles at Clash of Cash on the I Quit match. But then Trick Williams came out and talked to Cody, asking him for some advice. And Cody gave him some, but also let him know that he was also there to announce that next week there is going to be a 25-man battle royal to determine the number one contender who will face Trick Williams for the title next. And Cody hinted that some of the people involved could be from totally different locker rooms in WWE. So hinting that we might see some TNA talent show up next week in the Battle Royal. And then Trick Williams invited Cody to the cookout. He accepted and embraced to end the segment. Then we had a Singapore Cane match. Dante Chen taking on Lexis King. Dante Chen jumped him before the bell started. These two really went to town with the shots with the kendos. In the end, Lexis King got his hands on his scepter and used it to beat the hell out of Dante Chen, and then finished him off with a scepter-assisted coronation finisher to pick up the victory. Cody Rhodes found Jacy Jane backstage and gave her a gift, his old dashing Cody Rhodes face mask he wore when he's got his nose broken in his feud with Rey Mysterio. Mia Yim came out of Ava Rain's office, told the Good Brothers that she was going to get the first title shot against new champion Kalani Jordan, and that she is going to get her hands on the gold, and it's going to be too sweet. Somebody tried to accost Vic Joseph and Booker T at the announce desk, but security chased him off. That was Brooks Jensen. Some kind of angle going on there. Eddie Thorpe made his return from injury, taking on Tavion Heights. Eddie Thorpe picking up the victory. After the match, Charlie Dempsey was seen watching the match and told Damien Camp and Miles Bourne that he likes what he sees from Tavion, and told Miles to go bring him here so they can try to recruit him to join the No Quarter Catch crew and improve their numbers in their fight against the Angelo family. Then we had Javon Evans taking on Sean Spears after their altercation last week. Sean Spears picked up the victory with the C4. Actually, Nathan Davis were chatting with News Catch Republic when the D'Angelo family came up. Said that offered a Frazier potentially a shot at the Heritage Cup, which Frazier is definitely interested in as former champion. In the back, Cody Rhodes ran into Sean Spears, Ethan Page, and Lexis King in a very obvious nod to them all being formerly in AEW kind of segment. Cody Rhodes ended it. All three of them declared that they were going to be in probably the Battle Royal next week, especially Ethan Page and Lexis King. Cody told them that they seem like they're all in a good place before making his exit. Obvious where that joke was referencing. Anyway, so we close out the show with Roxanne Perez cutting a promo for her state of the NXT Women's Division, basically saying that she's the best. She's proven it. She took out Jordan Grace. No one can touch her. Ava came out to congratulate her, but then some potential future opponents came out. Jacy Jane and Jasmine Nix came out to rebut. So did Lash Legend, backed up by Shakira Jackson, and also Lola Vice as well. It led to a brawl between everybody, with Roxanne and Lola actually joining forces to clear the ring of the others. With Lola Vice definitely giving a look that she Lola was helping. Definitely still wants that crack at the NXT Women's Championship. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of NXT.
Lola, you stay away from it. Stay away from it right now. You don't do that. Nope. You stay away.
She was eyeing the Precious.
Yeah, she was. It's all right. Hey, you want to step up and get beat? That's fine. Everyone else will. All right, where do you want to start?
Let's see.
Oh, I do. Here's what I want to start with.
Yeah,
honestly.
go for it.
For a person who is just now getting back into NXT,
yep.
How did Wendy Chu get here?
Storyline wise, when she tore ACL, she was written out as a victim of Blair Davenport being the parking lot attacker.
Okay.
That she was attacked in the parking lot and was one of the victims of the masked parking lot attacker, which was revealed to eventually to be Blair Davenport.
Okay. Another that's the only thing though. So I was like, when she came back, I'm like, what are you trying to be part of the Howdy Six? Like, I mean,
yeah,
what are we doing?
Shout out to my friend James who messaged me and was like like, what's with the nightmare? It's like she's got a Nightmare Before Christmas look going on. I was kind of thinking the same thing.
I was like, okay, because I knew she always had like her in-ring attire was always like like the pajamas.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff like
whole
that.
thing was that she was all like a narcoleptic or something like that. It's like
Right.
But that's totally out the window. It's like they're going for something different, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see if it works for her.
I'm still just having to get used to why people are in NXT and they're not on the main roster because their promos are very.
Some people still need work. That's why they're there. It's like,
yeah, and so but like with Kalani Jordan, like she was trying to get through it, but I was just like, it was pretty pulling teeth.
She's only been doing this for 2 years. It's like
right.
She's still green. So it's
right.
Like,
that's the thing is I've got to mentally get over the fact that there's a reason they're in NXT,
right,
and on the main roster.
Some just get it right off the bat. I mean, it's like, I mean, you can tell. Like Jada Parker. Jada Parker and Lola Vice are both really good on the mic. It's like they got major potential going on.
And Oba really doesn't say a whole lot, but he's got his little like that stuff. Like it works. Wesley's not bad. Yes, Trick is great.
Trick is really good on the mic.
Yes, Trick is amazing. But as we talked about before during the
I still can't believe you did that. I was
I know, hard. Right? That was nuts.
And she was like flabbergasted, like she knew what it was.
Right? But then dude,
that whole segment, I was like, okay, I know why you're doing this. But he knows them. He's friends with Spears. He's friends with Ethan Page. He knows Pillman Jr. So
and then they did do the whole like Spider-Man pointing thing.
Yeah.
So because people are like, oh, I'm tired of AEW talking about WWE. He's like, WWE takes their shots. Like they take their shots but they don't do it every week like AEW does. Were you surprised to see New Catch on the show?
Yeah, no, that was a surprise. But
it was a fun match.
It's like I was like, it feels like NXT UK,
right? With Gallus and New.
Well, Catch. And plus, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate know Gallus very well, and they've been shown to be friends with Wes before, so it made perfect sense that they'd show up to help him.
Right.
Gallus still won, which I think was the right move. Gallus. It's like you want to get Gallus over as a serious heel threat, you got to give him some wins, especially after losing the triple threat there.
But what's going to happen now, because now New Catch couldn't help him. It's going to help him, right?
His old Rascal partner.
Yep.
He tweeted out. He's like, I'm just a phone call away, buddy.
Yep. Because that allegation ended up turning out okay, but they just never brought him back. And then the other misfits out, or the misfit or rascal, whatever you want to call them, all three of them, all the other two are still out there, but the other one's not signed. Is the other one still signed to TNA? I know Zach is, but is the other one still signed to TNA?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah,
I forget his name. Sorry.
Yeah, the new Rascals are both signed to TNA.
Okay, but yeah, that would pop the hell out of the crowd.
I saw some people calling that, like after he got jumped by Gallus at Battleground, people are like, maybe the Zachary Wentz and the other guy are going to show up to help him.
Yeah, and please, someone, Giff or Jeremy, tell me who the other guy is, because it's killing.
I can't remember his name right now. Help us out in the chat, guys.
Help us out in the chat. But what was I trying to go? Oh, Brian Alvarez, you dork! Jesus Christ! Do you not know what a cookout is?
Really? You don't know what that reference is?
Oh my God. And also too, someone brought it up when people kept saying whoop that Trick, and he didn't understand where that came from either. He was like, Trick, I guess it's just something that they came up. I guess it's just something the crowd came up with. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Brian, get out of under a rock out of Utah and season some food and realize that there's stuff going on outside.
Really?
Oh God, that was hilarious without him being funny. The one thing, were you surprised that that Michin went over on Jada?
I was, but it's definitely it's going to add fuel to the feud, because now Jada's definitely going to interfere in the Michin versus Kalani Jordan match next week, guaranteed. Because she's pissed off at Mia, so she's going to try to screw her out of winning the title, and that's going to lead to some kind of like like step match or something. It's like,
Yeah.
which I'm perfectly fine with. This is good for Jada Parker working with someone who's seasoned and good like Mia.
Yeah. Here's my other thing that I'm having an issue with bringing the other people back to NXT, the main brand people with Shayna and Michin and some of the other people. Is there's inconsistencies with their stories, and they're not saying, oh, they're doing this on Raw or whatever, because you have the Good Brothers that are basically heel when full heel, relying on themselves with AJ, and then Michin's supposed to be a face, and Jada's supposed to be a heel. So explain to me that. Now, that being said, she did on SmackDown when she threw the drink in Nia Jax's face because she brought up AJ's name, and she said, keep AJ's name out your mouth, did the whole Will Smith thing. Yeah. So she still is there, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like, Shayna is having like a real good feud with Lola Vice, and then just like, hey, there's Shayna on Raw. Yeah. Hey, here it is. Like, there's no correlation between the two.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't, and especially when it comes to Michin, who is supposed to be a face, and now she's with the Good Brothers, who are heels.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing that was like, it's like Good Brothers have been portrayed as heel lately, both in NXT and on SmackDown. Michin's still face right now, so it was kind of like a little bizarre. So yeah, no, I agree with you that I was
and then Machine Gun put on his thing. He goes, once part of the club, always part of the club, which is fine because you're there supporting each other, but not for storyline purposes. I think it's counterproductive.
Yep.
But it was cool that it was cool that way they did shenanigans on how Michin got over, so it still kind of protected Jada, because typically Michin's there to put over other talent because she's already technically a made superstar.
Yeah.
On that, but Michin needs this just as much as Jada, honestly, where Michin is.
Besides, she's gonna be jobbing tonight.
Oh, she's gonna get destroyed. And that's the thing. That's another thing. I'm like, you have her doing all this stuff on NXT, and then you just have her just serve her up to. Yeah. It's the same thing with Shayna. Shayna's having such a good just blood feud with Lola Vice, and then she just has like a 1.5 minute match in a tag team match, and then by the way, she's in a tag team. Like, that's where I'm saying, like, the different, like, you're in the same company, and you're presenting the wrestlers two different ways on each show. Either commit to one, or just leave them off on the other, or put the consistency between the two.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what they're trying to do with either, hey, they need to go to NXT to build up their career. Well, they can do that, like a Baron Corbin. He went on NXT, and then he got him with Braun, and they rejuvenated him. Now he was only on SmackDown for like a 0.5 second and did one match and lost, but still, you made people actually, like, invest in his character again.
Yeah.
Okay, you put Michin on there. She was there for the ladder match. She did her thing, and then Shayna Baszler, she does that for Lola Vice. But you have them appear on the other main brand shows, and your job on the same time.
Yeah, there should be consistent, because then you're kind of like, okay, she's doing well here, but then she's getting the jobber treatment over here. So it's like, I'm with you.
Yeah, because if you're gonna be strong on both shows, or you're gonna put over new talent to make the next superstars work. I'm with your buddy. I'm a Mia Yim guy. Or Michin, whatever she wants to go, whichever name during the week she wants to go by, but at least be consistent with the booking between the shows, because it's not like it's just like she ends up on Stardom randomly, or like some other place. This is the same promotion. There's no different promotion here. It's just a different brand of the same promotion, and typically you have people watch all three shows, because all three shows are delivering solid content. So therefore, I'm going to watch, and you're delivering two different characters. You're trying to tell two different characters on two different shows, and it's just throwing me off on that. Yes, I did. I always forget, but he did the woe.
He did the woe.
Did that. All right. That was my stern monologue on.
No. I'm with you on that. It's like yeah, they're doing something with Brooks Jensen, Josh Briggs' forward tag team partner. They're acting like he's like no longer part of NXT, but he's like trying to get back in. That's why they did the whole. It's like that. It's like they didn't show his face, but it's like I could tell from the hair that was him.
Whoever's writing that story, I'm liking what you're trying to do because it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay, I'll always go back to it. D'Angelo family, Chase U. This is your weekly. Tell me why I should care.
Things are a little weak right now with Chase U. It's like because it's like I'm not a big fan of Rich Holland, so I didn't like that he's been inserted into their orbit. So
I've never. I told you that I didn't like it at the beginning. And
I like Chase U because I like the heel's energy. It's like
no, I'm talking about Ridge. I'm not talking about Chase U.
Okay. Yeah, it's like I think it's like he's dragging Chase U down a little bit. So it's like I don't know. And the Angel family is kind of like in a bit of a lull. They're still got this feud going on with the No Quarter Catch crew over the Heritage Cup and stuff. So that's not over with yet. I like that Charlie Dempsey is kind of like becoming a little unhinged. He's acting. He's trying to be like Tony, and it's like I love the whole Capiche thing. It's like Capiche.
Gotcha.
I think it's leading to a point where Daddy Regal's got to show up and smack some sense into him.
War games. I don't know why. Yeah, I did like that with the Brian. This is alluding to the Brian Alvarez thing. It's like I might have to understand that, dude. I don't know. He lives in a very in the upper skirts of North Dakota and only talks to Dave Meltzer. Because I'm surprised Dave Meltzer didn't correct him either.
I loved the Singapore Kane match. Honestly, Lexus King and Dante Chen beat the fuck out of each other with those kendo sticks. Holy crap! Did you see the welts on Dante Chen's back from those kendo shots?
You can't hide it.
Nope.
You cannot hide
it. But Lexus King winning was the right call. He lost to Dante Chen 2 times in a row. He needed to get a win back.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm glad that Lexus King, because we've been saying like, oh, he came in. It's kind of like Andrade. It's like, oh, he came in, and then he's just there. So, but, all right. Tell me about Eddie Thorpe and Tavon Heights.
I'm not familiar. Tavion's pretty new, but I liked Eddie Thorpe before he got injured. He's got some talent. He had a great feud with Dijak that kicked ass. Like I said, I mentioned the underground match they had. That was the blow off of their feud. Was an underground match, and Eddie literally had to like beat the fuck out of Dijak in order to put him down. So he's got some potential. We'll see how well he does and what they're going to do with him now he's back. Let's see. Is there anything else? Because I want to definitely talk about the main event segment with Roxanne and what's going on with the women's division.
Yeah. So for the 25-man battle royal, I think this is where we get some TNA people.
Absolutely.
This is where we get my guy. I'm not going to get my hopes up.
I know people want Joe Hendry to show up. Matt Hardy literally put out a tweet teasing that he might show up in the battle royal to delete people. So you might see broken Matt Hardy.
Right.
But what Cody said definitely hints that one or more TNA people are going to show up for this battle royal.
Yeah.
To spice things up.
Joe Hendry's the most over person not in AEW and WWE right now.
Right.
It's just the internet, as far as like if you're on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it.
He's become a viral sensation because of it's like
because of his song and everything. And then like if you watch his in-ring work, it's not bad. And his mic skills aren't bad. Like he's got he's got the charisma, character work, all that stuff, but that song and everything is just so catchy.
Yeah. I really hope it's all. That's what's got me very intrigued about this battle royal. And we got both Ethan Page and Lex King are going to be in it. It's like probably Spears as well. So they also could build a lot of storylines going to Heatwave off of the battle royal anyway, depending like who eliminates who. It's like that's always battle royal.
If you can do a battle royal correctly, you build storylines. That's why the Royal Rumble typically there's only like 2 or 3, and recently that were just like nothing happened. There was no storylines built. That's why this Royal Rumble is so good, because you can build storylines off of it.
Yeah.
That make you intrigued. Like, oh, that'd be great if we saw that. Or we get those mini matches between those people that.
Yeah. So whoever wins the Battle Royal is probably going to face Trick at Heatwave.
Right.
Because Heatwave's coming up really quick, because Money in the Bank's coming up really quick in just a few weeks. So it's like, because like as soon as like Clash of Castles over, they're going to start doing the Money in the Bank qualifiers next week.
Gotcha. You think Spears are the favorite? I don't know if you put them there.
I don't know.
I don't know. We thought Soul or Jada. We thought Soul and Jada would take the NXT Women's, and
nope,
Kiana did. So, but yeah, Joe is very hot right now.
Yeah,
he's just very hot with that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll probably come in.
And he put out a video. There was a video on TikTok that was also shared on Twitter, where he was training at the new dungeon with Natty and TJ Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And Natty put out saying, we believe in Joe Hendry here.
Yeah, I mean, your boy, that's what I was like, because remember, I was telling you about Joe Hendry, like, I'm not familiar with Joe Hendry, and I was like, dude, McIntyre believes in Joe Hendry.
Right.
And then you once you do a deep dive, once you do a deep dive into Joe Hendry, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. And that ever since and Jordan Grace came out and said, oh, there's gonna be more people have been so like spamming Joe Hendry.
Yep.
So
because and plus there was Joe Hendry signs in the NXT audience, so
and they've been teasing say his name and he appears a bunch of times.
Yeah.
So shout out to Joe Hendry, dude. You made this happen. This is such a Matt Cardona from when he did the Long Island Ice Z, like whatever it was, that YouTube video. I still remember that where he was like where he was like climbing the fence and he was like struggling. He's like, this is me struggling to get over. It's like I just love that stuff.
Shout out to Matt Cardona recovering from a torn pec right now.
Yeah, dude, that Matt Cardona work on the indies.
Speaking of torn pecs, have you seen like how jacked CM Punk looks right now with all the workouts he's been doing, getting ready to get back in the ring? He's jacked.
Yeah, and have you seen the Rock's bruise where he had that elbow injury? It's all.
That's all purple. It's like not good.
It's all purple. It's like he's in his 50s or something. All right, I'll let you take the
all segment. Right. Okay, so number one. Remember how I said in the beginning with Roxanne's heel turn? I was like iffy on it first because the pro work, she is settled into the heel role so good right now. Like she's not getting wutted. The fans are booing her. You could tell how comfortable she's getting with the heel persona right now. Because like the promo she cut before Ava came out, she was doing a really good job. So it's like props to Roxanne. She's really settling into the heel work right now. So which is great. Very interesting where her the pool potential challengers, because they're all heel. Lash Legend has kind of they've been teasing a face turn for Lash Legend because because of the thing going on between her and Trick Williams. But otherwise, those are all heels. So
it's the Raw has the same issue. They're all heels, but they had to like solely make Damian a baby face in a way.
Is someone going to turn? It feels like they're setting up like, okay, they made it clear who the immediate challenges are, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to get it. I could see it going to Lola Vice just because of the way things ended, that'd be very interesting. But then they have to turn her face if they get the fans care. So it's like, but
a smart move.
Yeah, no, it's like she just took down Shayna, so it's like.
But Shayna's a bigger heel than she's always. Hey, Shayna's the only time Shayna's ever been face is because people just didn't like Ronda.
Yeah.
But she never changed who Shayna was.
Yeah, because there's only a couple of really good baby faces right now on the women's roster. Like Kalani's one of them. She's got the women's North American title. So she's Sol Rucka, Thea.
Right.
Gigi's one of them, but Gigi, I finally found out. I was wondering where the hell Gigi is. She's out with a knee injury, unfortunately, so she's also on the shelf, which sucks for her. So that's why that's the reason why they were doing that whole thing with her Ariana Grace, all those segments is because she was injured. They were trying to get her on TV to give her at least something, but
they haven't booked Thea worth a shit though. That's the problem.
I know it's like they like the closest she got was the NXT title match against Tiffany last year, where Andre Chase threw in the towel, because she was refusing to tap out.
Yeah,
that's the closest she's gotten to winning the title.
We've run into the same situation that we had before Jordan Gray showed up,
and she's still really popular too. That's why I thought that she would be a good contender to get the Women's North American title. But obviously they're high in Kalani, so that's why they gave it to her. They want to give her a good push.
Hey, what are the promos going to be? I hate the crowd. Oh yeah, well I hate the crowd more. Like,
it's like they obviously don't want to put Sol Ruca up against Roxanne right now because she's going to lose.
Right.
It's too early in Roxanne's reign for her to lose, and plus Julia's right around the corner. It's like, and so she's a very likely candidate to take the title from Roxanne. And it's like they're doing a good job of trying to find plug some things in until they get the people they want in. It's like they're waiting to get Julia. They obviously can't wait to get both Cora Jade and Nikita Lyons back because they're definitely missed them.
Either you let two things happen, bias aside.
Yeah.
Either you don't put Julia in that spot against her.
At least not initially.
Not initially. And you let Cora and Roxanne have their blood feud.
Yep.
Because I think that's the way to go. So that way you don't ruin Julia while also letting Cora go over on Roxanne. Cora becomes the face. Julia and her have the back and forth for a while. And then Roxanne goes to the roster.
Julia shows up and Roxanne does everything she can to not deal with her.
Right.
She's dodging her because she's afraid of Julia.
Right.
And it's like, and she will deny it, but it's very clear that she's doing everything in her power to avoid because she fears Julia taking the title from her.
Right. But you have to present we know Julia, and but you understand. I mean, the crowd there is going to they're very overproduced too. Because it's a tape show, so the producers are like, "Oh, cheer for this, do all that, blah blah blah." But it puts over wrestlers, so whatever they're doing works. Yeah. But you still have to win over the casual fan. So how do you win over the casual fan? You have to book Julia in solid matches, not just squash matches, which is why they're booking Braun very well on like Raw and stuff, because they're not just putting them in
when Julia comes in. She's got to mow through people to get to Roxanne. It's like you can't throw the mistake would be to throw her up against Roxanne because if you do that, then Roxanne's going down because they're not going to have Julia job right when she's brought in. It's like she's too big.
Right.
They're going to be too invested in her to do that. They're going, and I think people are right to speculate this. They should do the Asuka treatment where she comes in and just starts just taking people out one after the other, and it's like I'm coming for you, Roxanne. And it's like Roxanne has to keep looking over her shoulder while she's dealing with other people, knowing that Julia is eventually going to be coming for her, and she starts getting paranoid and scared because she will rightly fear Julia being good. She knows Julia's good enough to beat her, but which she won't admit as a heel. But she will show fear of Julia.
Yeah, and guys, I know we're talking about Julia a lot. If you haven't watched Julia, go watch her tape. She was the number 2 rated
holy cow, she's good
female wrestler of last year, according to Pro Wrestling Insight, under Rhea Ripley, and no one knew. And she was all in Japan, and she has the look, and she has everything.
That's why it's like after I saw what she could do in the ring, I was like, okay, now I see why Triple H and them wanted her so badly.
Yes,
she's like young Asuka, level awesomeness.
Yes,
it's like
she's
like you're not. It's like for people who haven't seen it, they're going to be like, whoa, when she comes in.
Yeah.
So it's
so that's why I'm just like I'm very particular of how you're going to book Julia to make sure you don't just serve her up, because that's what we're all the same thing with like Deonna Purrazzo. Like you just served her up to Tony.
Yeah, no, that's the thing I was disappointed about Deonna, and it's like yeah, and at least she has something with this feud with Thunder Rosa. You know, it's like at least that's something. It's
right.
like, but they made a mistake feeding her to Tony so early in Tony's title reign, because
and that's what was kind of made me nervous about Ethan. Like that was exactly what Trick needed. That's the thing, is like that's exactly what Trick needed.
Yeah.
And I was surprised at how many people really gravitated to Ethan, because I'm a big fan of Ethan, but he's still like a niche character, like that, not a wrestler. Like not a lot of people like really be like, oh yeah, I'm so excited to see
him
Ethan
eventually taking the title from Trick. I mean, it's like, yeah. So it's
I kind of did. Like I was like, it could happen. I don't think it would.
I think eventually they're going to get a rematch. It's like they definitely, the way that they were filming it, it definitely felt like he's going to get another shot eventually.
Yeah,
because that was really quick. It's like because he was coming in, and so they plugged him into the spot because it originally was supposed to be Noam Dar. He's out with injury, so they made a pivot with we'll reveal it was Ethan Page who was behind the whole thing. And so he'll get the title shot instead of Noam Dar.
And it's a better way to do, because like I told you, Trick's feud with Noam Dar felt like nothing.
Yeah, it felt like filler. The stuff with Ethan Page was gold.
Yes. As soon as Ethan came in, I mean that episode where Jordan came out and Ethan, we were all like, yeah. And then guess what happened? You had the highest rated NXT you had in a whole year. Well, you know why? Yeah. Because you had Jordan and Ethan on the show.
Yeah. And when nobody was expecting them to show. So it's like, yeah. So I think eventually Ethan's going to get his another title shot. Probably not right away. We eventually see who's going to win this battle royal and probably face Trick at Heatwave. Yeah. And also same for they obviously set up a couple of immediate new challengers for Roxanne. It's going to be interesting to see who they're going to go with for Heatwave.
Line them up. Knock them down.
And also the question is, will Julia show up at Heatwave just to like, you know, like she makes her first appearance and Roxanne's like look like she's looks like, oh fuck. It's like after she's like, I'm the best. It's like nobody can touch me, and then Julia shows up.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. It's just like you know, you end it, and she's like, yes, no one, who else, and then like just like raise it, and then Julia.
No one here can touch me. Well, say hello to the newbie.
Right. Julia's here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, no. Happy to great. Just solid week of wrestling. Solid week of news. It was just a crazy week. Just when you thought it was slowing down, it kind of sped up. Mm-hmm. But it's always a good time. For anyone out there, if you want to be our Discord is always there. We talk about wrestling pretty much 24/7 on our Discord channel.
There are a lot of people watching tonight. It's like really appreciate it. It's like
thank you all for commenting. Obviously, comment below, ring the doorbell, everything. We try and go on.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah, Tushka also commented.
Yep.
Yes, I know how much he loves wrestling so much, but no, he always takes his time to at least comment and say what's up. But thank you all so much for, you know, we almost have like at least 11 to 12 people watching us live, which, you know, every one of you that watches, we're so very, very appreciative of that. We do this every, we do this every, yes, exactly. We got Clash the Castle coming up, which is going to be kind of crazy. But
a lot of different things could happen.
Yeah. So look out for our next episode where we break down that. I would expect it. I'm more excited for this card than I am the King of the Ring. King of the Ring just for some reason was just it was weird. Even though I was excited for it, but then I wasn't. Same time, I don't know.
Well, but anyway, the Gunther, Randy, and Logan Paul versus Cody saved that show from being like meh.
Right.
It's like.
Although shout out to Nia Jax's finish when she just cemented.
But the Clash of Castle card is really stacked.
Really good. I really like their card.
Both world title matches are going to kick ass. Mm-hmm. Cody, AJ, I Quit, and then Priest versus Drew, which is going to be the main event. It's going to be interesting to see what I wonder if the I Quit match will open, and because Drew versus Priest is going to close. That's a gimme.
I'm expecting
Or do you put the I Quit in like the middle of the show? Because you don't want to put it right before Drew versus Damian.
I think you put the Intercontinental title at the beginning.
I think that would probably be the best move for the opener.
Mm-hmm. I think you put that at the opener. That and no, you don't put that. You don't put the tag. You don't put the women's tag team.
The Intercontinental title match. We've got women's title match Bayley versus Piper. We've got the triple threat for the women's tag titles, and we've got both world titles on the line. So that's the big 5 matches. It's either
gonna be the you don't put your face of the company opening. Face of the company is Cody.
Yeah.
So you don't put that opening. You're not going to close it because it's Drew's town, and that feud with CM Punk and all that stuff looting around. You're not going to do that. So it just makes more sense to open it with the IC title.
Yeah.
With that, so that's what I would say. I'm taking Gable though. I think Gable's
also interesting. The Bloodline will not have a match on the show.
Mm-mm. Nope. And with their feuds, they have nothing going on to be involved with this show.
So this is going to be a tight 3-hour pay-per-view because you only got 5 matches.
Right.
So they're going to all get probably get a good amount of time to cut. Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, all right. But yeah, if anything, thank you all so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure doing it with my tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. Obviously, if you all join us on Discord, the link is down below. Join us on there. We talk wrestling all the time. We literally post stuff on there. We have a lot of conversations on there about the world of that is, will be, and is wrestling. And also, too, if you think about a show that you might want to do in this space that is YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, whatever thing that goes live, if you think about that you want to do a show, we're happy to help. Join the Patreon. Join the patreon.com/RuckusTV. That's the thing that we're kind of banking ourselves on because we want to grow this community, this channel. But it's not just us, a few of us that do these shows. We also want our community to help grow shows too. So if you think you have a show in mind that you would love to do, and we will help you produce it, let you grow in this world that is YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and all that other fun stuff, join that and join one of the tiers, and we'll be here to assist you in doing that. Also too, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the doorbell. We try and go live 9:00 Eastern, 8:00 Central every Thursday because that's such a good spot of what the week was and what the week and what will be in the future of wrestling. Because guess what? On Thursday, there's no wrestling shows except for TNA, and you have to subscribe to that, and we are not. So all right. But if anything, thank Justin. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for always making
my boy
videos.
Drew wins, but he better watch out for. Best in the world.
I know.
Pop up when he least expects it.
I know. It's just my girl's NXT champion, and Drew's not as. And Drew, he has his boy as his champion for about 5 minutes, and his hubris took over. But if anything, you all enjoy, and thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be discussing Clash at the Castle and everything else. SmackDown, which would probably be the most straightforward show you ever think of Friday, but we're going to talk about it next week. And we will see you all next time.